Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week in Williamson, Arizona, a drive home from Las Vegas leaves one person dead and 2 others heading back to gamble some more. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again on another crazy, wild adventure that we like to call Small Town Murder. Thank you, folks. We are having a great time. Thank you, everybody. Thanks. First of all, before we get started, have to say, if you're listening the day this comes out, right now, San Francisco tonight.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if there's any tickets left to that. There might
very little.
There might not be, because I don't know if there's any now. So when this actually comes out, I really don't have any idea. But try. You never know. And if you have tickets, man, are we going to have a blast at Cobb's Comedy Club.
I can't wait.
And even more this weekend, Saturday, November the 3rd, is Stand Up Live in Phoenix.
Yes.
Get your asses there.
Do it.
That is why we're doing another Arizona episode. Well, an Arizona episode is to get some, hey, we're over here. Hey, come on down.
Strategic motherfucker.
And plus, it's just crazy here. So we live in Arizona. It's a wild place, and we figured we would
to be here.
We figured a murder from here is always fun. So what the hell? Let's do it. Thank you, everybody, for your iTunes reviews this week. We really, really appreciate that. Your Apple Podcasts, whatever they are. If you haven't done it yet, please do that. It really helps us out a lot. And on the business end, drives us up the charts, shows everybody that our listeners are engaged and willing to press a button for us and maybe sign in with their password. Maybe. So
Hairy, funky algorithm.
that funky algorithm that iTunes have, we need to feed it so it can dance a little more.
Yeah.
But do that. It helps us out. Honestly, it doesn't matter what you say. The 5 stars are important. Say whatever you want. It's just for business. Yeah. If you want to go above and beyond that, the Call of Duty, you can do that very easily. You can go over to shutupandgivememurder.com and you can get merchandise, T-shirts with all our sayings and all that crazy stuff on it, mugs and bath mats and anything you want over there. You can get T-shirts to wear to live shows.
You bet.
Where you can get tickets all through there. It's all our calendar. Check out where we are.
Right,
May we suggest Phoenix this Saturday night at Stand Up Live. Come on out there. Do that. Or you can do something that makes you our best friend, wonderful producer.
Yeah.
You can go to the link that takes you to patreon.com/crimeinsports and you can make a donation there or head over to PayPal. Use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com, and you can make a one-time donation over there, and God damn it, are they appreciated. We can't even tell you how much they are appreciated.
They fully assisted in me getting a phone this week.
Yes, yeah, Jimmy destroyed his phone on a go-kart like a 16-year-old, and oh man, I trashed it.
It got pinned between my leg and the track, and it filed it all down.
That is awful. Well, tell you what, let's get everybody in the go-kart here, and we will say the disclaimer.
Yeah.
We're all in a go-kart on the way to the liquor store, about to rob it, and you're an accomplice at this point. So we'll tell you that right now. If you're in the car, you're on board, you're going to have a good time. We'll just say that. This isn't, as people would think, small town murder and it's comedy. Oh no, we're comedians. There's going to be jokes involved. We make fun of small towns. We make fun of bumbling police forces and idiot murderers and stupid defenses and things like that.
But who do we not make fun of?
The one thing we try to do is to not make fun of the victims or the victims' families, and then we figure that, that makes it okay.
There's got to be some law.
There has to be something. Exactly. Otherwise, it's anarchy because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. So that's the way that is. So if you're on board with that, awesome. That's tremendous. Thank you. Welcome to the car. We will meet up at the liquor store. This is good stuff.
You
if you're
can
not
smoke in this car.
You can. Do whatever you want. It's open containers are fine. Whatever you got. It's fine. Not the drive for everybody
going to
else.
Rob a liquor store.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what we're doing on the way. It doesn't really matter.
Do
we
whatever.
got sawed-off shotguns in here, really, at this point. But if you think true crime and comedy never, ever should go together under any circumstances, then this probably isn't going to be the show for you. You're probably not going to like it. And it's not going to be any fun for either of us. So thanks for trying. Have a good one. See you later. Unsubscribe button is right there. Yeah. So enjoy that. The rest of you, oh man, I know what you're thinking right now. And I'm right there with you, so shout it out from your cars, from your wherever the hell you are, on a treadmill, on a what are those stair stepper thingies?
Stairmaster?
Cleaning your house, doing whatever you're doing. If you're in a conservative office, go into the bathroom, say quietly, make sure no one's in there because it's extra weird coming from a closed bathroom stall. But say, shut up and give me murder. Let's do it, Jimmy. Let's go on a trip, shall we?
I'd love to.
You ready to go? All right, let's do this. We're all packed up. We're ready to go. We don't have to go very far.
No.
We're going like 2 hours away, so it's not too bad for us. We're driving right up the hill. Not too bad. We're going to Williamson, Arizona.
I've heard of Williams.
Yes, I knew. When I said it originally, you made a face like that's not a place.
That doesn't make sense.
It is. Now, Williams is a different. Williams is a more well-known.
Oh, it's beautiful
place in Arizona. Yeah, it's where people go kind of before the Grand Canyon.
Go see Arizona.
Yeah, it's nice up there. It's up in the mountains, and it's pretty. This is Williamson. This is different. Okay, it's a different place completely. It is in the central part of the state, kind of northwest part of the state. It's by Prescott. It's right up there. It's 20 minutes northwest of Prescott.
I've been all over that place.
It is in the goddamn woods.
Right?
You'd miss it if it's half in the woods. We'll get to it. It's about an hour 50 from Phoenix.
Okay.
About 3 hours and 45 minutes to Vegas, which is important for the story to know that. And like I said, about 20 minutes to Prescott, Arizona, which is kind of
fascinating.
Yeah, Prescott's kind of like this. It's kind of a cool, like old timey town in the middle of the mountains up there.
Prescott used to be the capital of Arizona.
Yeah, back then they realized it snowed, and they were like, "What? This is ridiculous.
This is dumb. Why do we stay here?
Why are we doing this? Right down the hill, it doesn't snow. This is silly."
And they got Whiskey Row, where all the cowboys used to drink, like Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. All those people drank there.
Yeah, it's kind of
and it's all at the center of
cowboyish. Yeah, there's a bunch of cowboy shit.
They really run that cowboy shit right up your ass.
They run this is an old West town, but it's also, hey, family friendly. Look at the Christmas lights. It's weird. It's super weird fine line. Come up and get shit faced and slosh around the sidewalks, throwing up just like Wyatt Earp, and bring the kids.
Right. And then run over to our boutique where we sell really fancy soaps that are worth...
And chocolates and candies and cupcakes.
And they still got a TCBY. I think they still got it.
I'm sure they do. It's in Yavapai County over there. Zip code 86305, area code 928 up in that area. It is 57 square miles, this area.
Williamson
That's what I mean, Williamson. It's 57 square miles technically of mostly nothing. There's nothing there. Yeah. It's just the middle of nowhere with some stuff mixed. Yeah. It's not a lot. Motto is, we swear we're a town. We exist, damn it, which is a very aggressive motto, but needed, as we can see from a man who's lived here. How long have you lived here? 30 years. And have driven all over northern Arizona. That's like your jam. You love to go drive, and you've never even heard of the fucking place. That's why that's the motto right there. We swear we're a town. We exist, you bastards. Now,
Rand McNally put us on one. There's got to be a map that we exist.
It's actually the wrong name of the town too. It's Williamson, but they actually it's a mess up in federal. It's and the technically the murder doesn't take place right in this town, but it is the closest town to the middle of nowhere where this happened.
This is great already.
So it's literally, I was like, well, where the fuck? I had a map out and I found out the road and I'm like, okay, and it says it's 25 miles north. Well, literally, I'm doing all these different configurations and I'm like, well, the closest town here is Williamson. Otherwise, there's nothing out there.
That's so weird.
It was either Williamson or we go to the other side of the forest to Baghdad, and I'm like, that's the desert over there. So we're gonna stay. Yeah, we're gonna stay over here because I know this is the forest is where this happens.
I didn't realize Baghdad was up there.
Baghdad's over by Kingman. Yeah, it's like if you go over to the west, nobody cares about this.
But I was thinking, for some reason in my head, I had it down in the southeast corner near Globe Miami.
No. And Baghdad also is by Nothing, Arizona, for you non-Arizona residents, which is another town whose motto is also, I swear we exist, even though there's nothing.
Is that for real? Nothing, Arizona?
And there's Nothing, Arizona, Baghdad, and then Nothing is over to the southeast. Trust me, I've studied the central Arizona map. Crazy today. History of this area. There's been human habitation in the area here since at least 900 AD. I'm going to probably say beforehand. That's just all they can prove. First settlers here were surprisingly Native Americans, obviously. They weren't people that live in Surprise. No. That all have nice gravel yards. I don't think it wasn't there. They migrated here to hunt deer and smaller game. It was good hunting grounds. Yeah. So this is a good place to be.
It's the South Rim of the Grand Canyon. There's all kinds of wild shit up there.
That's what it is. Yeah, there's a ton of shit. It's the forest. I mean, there's bears and...
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It also was a passageway for the early settlers to go to and from to the pine forest down south of here.
Got it.
And also all through, like, the gold rush, this was kind of an area where people came from the south to go to California. They'd come this way and then head north for some reason. I guess that keeps you out of the Rocky Mountains.
It also
which makes
keeps
sense.
You the fuck out of like Death Valley.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Palm
so
Desert.
They come through here and then I think they go up and then follow the mountains on the west side of. I don't know how the fuck.
It's a little nicer that way.
But they said there's a lot of northern Arizona and Arizona in general had a lot of southern settlers because that's where people would stop if they were going to California and they were like, all right, it's far enough. This'll do. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I heard there was sand. And this is all the same. So there's a lot of people with southern kind of roots here based on that, which I didn't know. So that's why
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like the West Virginia of the Southwest or the Oklahoma of the further Southwest, more accurately.
People from Dodge City, a lot of those people went to Prescott. That was a very common. Yeah. But it was the capital then, so that's
it made sense. Right. Yeah, that's where they keep the records.
Yeah.
So they'd steal them, I'm sure, as we always have in one of these goddamn towns. There's always a record thieving. One county seat's mad at another for Jesus Christ.
Fighting over land deeds.
That's what they're fighting over. Also, they did archaeological studies. They said Native American tribes, it was kind of a seasonal thing up there. They would have a lot of seasonal habitation. They'd be up there in the summer, and they would store their meat up there in the winter. They'd store shit
Indian
up there.
Snowbirds?
That's they had
hilarious.
Indian elderly, I'm sure.
Unbelievable.
Just the elderly ones, though. Just the older Indians would head up there. I'm heading up for the summer. It's getting hot down here. So They were, but they would store meat up there and shit too because it was cold.
Yeah.
And down here, I guess the meat would go bad, so they'd have to send people up to make meat runs up north.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So
power goes out and you got to get an all new fridge stocked full of food here.
Yeah, you're totally fucked.
Not even hot, and it's just everything's dead.
That happened to me a year and a half ago. It was not cool at all.
The worst.
Power surge, dead fridge, all my food's dead. We just went grocery shopping.
Oh no,
it was horrible. We had our shit in coolers, but then we couldn't get it fixed for 2 days, so we had
the worst.
We're cooking all sorts of shit trying to make it. So,
hurry, start cooking.
Get going, warm up the oven. So, discovery of gold in the 1850s, 40s, and 50s brought all sorts of people into the area because there was some gold there, too.
Okay.
In addition to there being copper up in northern Arizona and everything like that. So, people came here. People that were the less ambitious would come here. It's easier to get to than California. And, it's kind of the post.
Fewer people?
Yeah. Plus, it was kind of like the stock market. It was ready to burst already. They already had the big gold rush. And there was like, well, there's a couple things we could buy up on the fringes. It's fine. That's where they thought it was.
Also, fewer people means better odds of your strike.
That's the other thing. Shockingly, the Native Americans in the area considered this an invasion on their hunting grounds. A bunch of you assholes on here panning for shit and telling us to go away. Strange that they would feel that way. But in the 1860s, there was fighting between the Native Americans and the settlers in the area. So, over that, basically, over
I just thought
people wanting to mine.
Picture a Native American. Do you see a beard on that man? How the fuck did they shave? Like, I am fascinated with that right now.
Well, they had razor sharp fucking weaponry and shit. I mean, how would they?
They're shaving with a fucking hatchet?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
could shave
intense.
You could shave it down. Yeah, you could really get it down. Plus, I think they had medals too. So.
Dude, I don't know what they had.
I'm not
really
sure
dumb.
what year. Also, we're talking
That's
about
a good point.
What area too.
And what did we bring to them? Too?
And what did we bring? I mean, people from different areas, and people have been shaving and cutting hair though since the beginning of fucking time. Yeah, you sharpen shit and you figure it out.
I've never seen a Native American guy with a beard. Like in any pictures, you know what I mean?
No, I guess
that's
not.
That's really fucking.
I'm sure there were some people are going to be like, "You guys are idiots." There's we know. We're saying what Jimmy's the limited amount of pictures he's seen in 8th grade textbooks did not have beards in them.
I see that there. I understand that's post like a Gilded Age. That there's metal around.
Yeah,
but did the Gillette people stop by a camp and be like,
think so.
Disperse these amongst?
I think
everyone?
they had it.
Yeah.
I think they had it down already.
Okay.
I feel like
I'm just.
I feel like they'd figure out shaving right away. That's something I feel like immediately. As soon as guys started figuring out, as soon as the first divorced guy happened, they figured out shaving. Where he's like, I gotta get myself out there. Fuck, I look like shit. I need a makeover. He figured out shaving and went out there looking slick and got himself some ass. That's what happened. So I don't know when that occurred, the first divorce in human history, but
got to get this lice off my face.
Whenever that happened, that's when it and some girl went, ooh, I haven't looked at you the same way. Went to the office looking different.
That's your chin?
Oh man, look at you. Holy shit. You don't have any bugs or birds living in there or anything. This is sexy. So the Civil War began, obviously, in the 1860s, and the federal government established Arizona as a territory, and troops were stationed there to protect the gold mines and the settlers from both Confederate bands and hostile tribes as well.
Interesting.
So that's why they made it a territory, was to protect the gold here.
Fascinating.
There's gold there. That's ours now. Yeah, let's stay out.
We need that.
Yeah, they felt like they could then feel justified in sending troops there, apparently.
Sure.
But they also, all the army and then people here created a demand for, quote, beef and hay. Mm-hmm. We need beef and hay. I see people just marching in the streets looking for beef and hay, and that's when people in this area started bringing in livestock and all that kind of shit, and that's up there now. It's a lot of livestock.
Oh, God, it's everywhere.
It's northern Arizona. It's so weird. It's beautiful. My God. And we're not talking about Sedona. People come from all over the world to look at Sedona. It's amazing. And you'd look and go, wow, it's beautiful. And the houses are nice. And, Flagstaff has its own thing to it. Sure. And Jerome. There's a couple of these, tourist towns up there that are fine. But
about like Winslow
is weird.
Really, it's
fucking weird.
They have a statue of that dude that wrote that song that's standing on a corner of Winslow.
That's what I mean. They're
that
like
was the Eagles, but it
only
was
person.
Jackson Brown? I don't remember.
Not Glenn Fry, the other one.
Don Henley.
Don Henley, thank you. Yeah.
But I think it's a statue of Jackson Brown standing there. because
The fuck they have Jackson Brown
It
standing
has
there for? It's
something
the
to do with
Eagles.
that fucking guy. I don't know. I don't know the story. I don't like the Eagles. It's fucking garbage.
Either
But
way,
the
though,
point
they have a
is,
statue of the one guy who's ever mentioned them in pop culture. He mentioned us. Build a statue. Imagine if anytime
That is a bizarre town.
anybody added us on Twitter, we built a statue of them. They mentioned us. Statue. Thank you for your article. We have
Right
built
now.
a statue.
Yeah.
Every time we're on top 25 true crime, whatever the fuck, we built a statue to that writer. Thank you. We're very
We
excited.
have a split-sider statue in here.
That's a beautiful monument to BuzzFeed. It's fantastic. It's gorgeous.
Ridiculous.
Who doesn't want that? So there's all sorts of hostilities between these people. Obviously, this is the Williamson Valley, is what they call it. It provided a lot of really good place for cattle. Apparently, a cattleman named Stevens brought livestock into the Williamson Valley.
Oh, the poor guy.
That
got
poor
ripped
bastard.
off.
He had to bring it all the way over there.
And they name it Williamson.
They name it
His family's pissed.
It was named after Lieutenant Robert Stockton Williamson, who served as a government surveyor in Arizona in 1854. Since the valley was basically it's a natural passage down to the Prescott area from up north is the way it works, because that's a little valley outside of the forest.
Prescott
and
Valley.
Makes it a little more easily accessible. Yeah, exactly. So a guy named Thomas Simmons, who was a civilian, had a stage station in the 1860s, and he provided meals and horses and all sorts of shit, and manned the post office. He was also the post office, and then he designated the station Wilson after the commissioner of the land, and then somebody else changed it in 1873 to Williamson Valley, and then in 1881 they changed the name again to Simmons after that guy, after the postmaster guy. He changed it away from something to something else, and then they were like, fuck that, we're giving it to you.
You take it, sir.
It's ridiculous. Until that station closed in the 1830s, and they went back to Williamson. It was the Williamson Valley Road up there is known as was the Simmons Highway, and a lot of maps still printed as the Simmons Highway on maps for some reason. Now, some shit up there. Back in the turn of the century, what was life like in northern Arizona?
Yeah.
You might wonder. They all had gardens and canned what they grew in order to survive the winter.
Oh my God.
Which sounds fucking horrible, because it's cold up there in the winter. Don't get that shit wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Arizona's warm. It's fucking freezing up there in the winter. This town's like 5,000 feet elevation.
Yeah.
It's a mile-high town, so it's cold, man. It's
Happy Jack, which is real close to there, which is a dumb fucking area too. But I've been there in a camper, and we had fresh water tank underneath, and overnight the whole tank was fucking frozen.
It's so cold.
Woke up in the morning, you can't even make coffee. Nothing.
It's so cold
It gets
there.
super fucking cold.
The primary sources of income back in the day were the sale of cattle, hay, and horses, both ranch horses and bucking horses for rodeos. They're producing rodeo horses up there, apparently. Meat cutting, carpentry, blacksmithing, and the sale of dairy products. I feel like that's what every small town was. That's not a big deal. It says social life. This is exciting, Jimmy.
Boy.
I know I'm not a social guy, but I think I might have been a little more back then. Because back then, social life revolved around neighbors, helping neighbors with cattle roundups and putting up hay.
Nope, those are
Which
yours.
sounds
You
fucking
go get
terrible. Yeah, your cattle are wandering away. That is your problem at that point. Those are your cattle, your fucking problem.
That's not being neighborly. That's an asshole thing.
Yeah.
Come over here and help me do work.
Help me
No.
work on my shit.
Right.
And also the distance, they were like 2 or 3, sometimes more, 5 miles between ranches.
Not acres.
So, not acres, miles. So people really didn't hang out very much because they're so goddamn far away.
It's fucking exhausting to get to you.
They like to have like rodeos and hoedowns and shit up there, and have square dances. I guess I don't know they dances, but I'm sure it's square dancing.
Yeah.
It's square. I'll tell you that much right now. I don't know if it's officially
As fuck.
As fuck. They said next to rodeo, the most popular recreation for men and boys was hunting. Which is sort of not a recreation if that's your food source. That's just survival at that point.
Tactics.
Not really having fun. It'd be like, what do you do for recreation? I go to the grocery store, just wander around, look at meat, No, that's what you do to survive.
Your recreation is general thriving. Like, that's how you get to what are we going to do for fun today? We're going to try and make it to tomorrow. That's our fun.
Cougar hunting was a lot of fun for them.
So fun.
We're trying to make it till tomorrow if we're not mauled by cougars while we're trying to hunt them. They would kill cattle and deer and shit, so people would hunt them kids would round them up for a bounty. Yeah. You bring in 5 cougars and you get a bounty. Like on Deadwood when you bring in a Native American head and they would give you money for that. I think it was $50 a head.
Really?
I think Al would give you one and then he'd put it up in the bar. That was a real thing too. At the Gem Saloon in Deadwood, they would put
buying decorations.
Yeah, they would use it as a rotting skull as a decoration. They just put it up on a shelf in the bar.
Keep the flies off your steak.
Yeah, I would say so. That's a good point though. It does draw the flies. Now they said crime rate was actually pretty low back then. Cattle rustling was considered one of the most serious offenses. The goddamn cattle rustlers, man. Oh my God. As we've heard from back then, the worst thing you could be is a cattle rustler.
Why don't you just rape my wife? Jesus,
good God,
you gotta steal my cattle?
And horses too. If you stole a horse, but now it's like they don't kill you if you steal a car. It doesn't make sense. So,
you get way further in a car than on a horse.
That's what I mean, and it's way more expensive. The whole thing, it's just better. It's just better. Horses have no air conditioning and they shit all over the place. So, Yavapai County was one of the 4 original Arizona counties created by the first territorial legislature. It was also Apache, Coconino, Maricopa, and Navajo were carved out of the original Yavapai. Mm-hmm. So all of the shit around here was originally Yavapai County.
There's only like 13 in this state.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. Well, there's no people here outside of Phoenix. Right. Sorry, everybody. I know there's a few in Tucson, but you live in Tucson.
It's a big ass state.
We apologize
for 13
for
counties.
You. Yeah, and everyone is crammed into this fucking city. What is there? 5.5 million people in the state. 7 million people in the state, and 5 in the state. Yeah, and the rest of it's
4.8.
It's a giant state too. So there's only 2 million people dispersed throughout it, other than us, and a lot of them are in Tucson. Right. So I mean, they're dead and buried pretty much. They're already in Tucson.
There's like 1.2 in Tucson, and then like 400,000 in Flagstaff.
That's it.
And then the rest of the 48 people are somewhere else.
Somewhere in the mountains. Yeah. They're in Williamson. Williamson, speaking of dead and buried, is the number 89 best place to retire in Arizona, according to this website.
Number what?
89. Not a lot of places in Arizona. It's 89. Like I couldn't think of 89 other places. 88 places.
There's like 8 places.
I can think of like a dozen cities, and that's about it. And it is the number 7,381st best place to retire in America. So you're going down the list.
How thousands?
7,381st best place to retire in Arizona, according to this website.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., in the entire U.S. And everybody here is retired, too. That's the other thing.
Really?
I have resident reviews. Here's some.
These people went down that whole list
and
got to 7,000 something.
Good enough.
Well,
good enough.
Do.
Resident reviews, quote, "This area is growing because of its natural beauty. It's a fairly peaceful and quiet place, but sometimes that can get boring. For young people, there's not much to do. I've also noticed an increase in rehab and old folks' homes, which I see as troubling." Okay, 4 stars, though. And then the next one, because of the high concentration of rehab homes, there's quite a bit of drug-related crimes. There's also the occasional racist hate crime, but other than that, it's mostly quiet. 3 stars.
All right.
3 stars for all the rehab. So apparently rehab centers, there's a lot of them up there.
That's fascinating.
Because there are 2 different people. 2 out of 3 reviews mention rehab centers. So people in this place, the population of the whole area up there, that whole big area, is 5,398. So almost 5,400. Mm-hmm. So a little over 5,000, up 109% since 1990, which everything in Arizona. In 1990, Phoenix had like 1.2 million people, and now there's like 4.5 million people in the whole metropolitan area. So shot up. Had 3,000 people in 2000 too. So it's been growing a lot since 2000. Median age here, 37.4 is average. Yeah. Median age here, 60.8.
Holy shit, they're old.
60.8. That is
right up the middle is 60.
Very fucking old.
If there's a 30-year-old, there's a 90-year-old.
That's what I mean. Wow. That is, if there's a 15-year-old, there's a 140-year-old. It's insane. It's fucking crazy.
I like how you carried the one there.
You got to do it. So 60.8, which is nuts.
Yeah.
Male-female populations are normal, though, which is weird because the people aren't like 85. They're like 65. They're like new retirees. It's very strange. 30% of the people here are between the ages of 65 and 74. 30% of the people here are in that 9-year span, which is insane.
A lot of bingo.
Can you imagine how many fucking Wednesday night bingo games are going? The traffic is insane.
Wednesday night, it's like Wednesday at 3 p.m.
Yeah, I was going to say Wednesday at 5:30, right after dinner. Boy,
it's
after the potluck. All other groups are under the norm of population, all other age groups, except for 15 to 17-year-olds, which is also a little bit higher, which I don't understand at all. They brought a couple of them brought their punk grandkids up there.
That's what it is. It's the ones that
shitty parents.
They're on their way to rehab anyway.
They're like, I guess bring them here. It's almost rehab.
They can walk to the rehab.
We'll move them over to the rehab. Married population, it's usually 50-50. That's the norm. Here, 72% married. So old couples are moving up there like crazy. And those are now married is 70.43. So it is just not like some people that got divorced, bunch of widows, none of that shit.
They retired together and moved there.
There's actually less widowed population than normal with that age, which is crazy. Not a lot of married with children. Married with no children, 74% or 73.72%. So
now you're talking.
That's a lot.
They're getting the fuck away from the big city.
Going.
We didn't do anything with our lives.
But up here, it's expensive. They had to live here. We'll talk about it in a minute. But race of this town, it's the mountains of northern Arizona. It's 92% white, 0.00% black.
No black people.
Not a black person in 5,000. Zero.
What's the racist hate crimes they were talking about
There's
earlier?
nobody to perpetrate them on, except for the 4.22% Asians that are there. I don't know what they're attacking the Asians over. Like, what the fuck do you care? Well, leave us alone.
I know what it is. It's old dudes that remember.
They were in Vietnam.
Yeah.
It's overabundance of Vietnam veterans there. Just pissed.
They just snap.
Dude's like, I'm not fucking Vietnamese, number one. Number one, I'm Korean.
My name is Charlie.
Number two.
Wait a minute.
Oh, shit.
What did I do?
Damn it. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Andrew Jackson.
I legitimately
I know.
to
You're
pull
the most American name you could pull. And you pulled the one thing.
The only one that's fucking horribly insulting.
Nice job,
what the fuck?
That was a good one right there. That was classic. Oh, man.
As soon as I said it, blood rushed to my fucking head.
It didn't happen before you said it. I know that. That's where all the blood was, away from your head, which makes sense. 2.85% Hispanic, Jimmy, in Arizona.
Why did I go with Henry? What am I doing?
That would have been perfect. Bill, Bob, anything. Charlie. Only less than 3% Hispanic here, and less than 2 hours from Phoenix, which seems insane. That seems unfathomable. That's unfathomable. I don't even know that. That's crazy. 26.2% of the people here are religious. They're just like, we gave up on that. We left our kids behind. We're going up to the mountains. Fuck religion. 7.9% Catholic. 4.7% LDS. It does snow up there, so they're going to blend right in.
Close to Utah.
0.02% Jewish, so not very Jewish. 0.0% Muslim, about 33% Democrat in the last presidential election, about 64% Republican. These are older white people who have a lot of money, so not a big shock in the that is the core demographic there. Unemployment rate's about normal, 5 and change, same as the rest of the country here. Household income is very high, $72,604 is the average, which is about almost $20,000 higher than the national average. On retirement. The jobs are mainly educational services because you can get to colleges around there, and a lot of in the healthcare industry, shocking with the retired community. Overall cost of living, 100 is par, average, regular. Here it is 163, and that is almost exclusively for housing because housing is a 297.
My fuck.
Housing, median home cost here, $555,100.
Oh, my word.
Very expensive. And 43% of the houses were built between 2000 and 2009.
40%?
Yeah, they had a huge population boom, and they built everything. It's all brand new shit.
That's intense.
Pretty much. Most of the houses are, over the 300,000 mark. Very few under the less than 20% of them are worth under 200 grand up there. So, and if we've convinced you that you're old enough and you can pull it off enough and you're white enough to be here, we have for you the Williamson, Arizona Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental in this area of any kind is going to be $1,240, which that's the way to go.
Yeah,
because
that's reasonable.
That is on the mark because everything else is expensive. I found a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 648 square foot like bungalow thing. It's on Hootenanny Road.
Oh my God!
So that's if you're that doesn't embarrass you enough to stay out of the area. $205,000. That is the cheapest house in this area.
$205,000
to live on Hootenanny Road in a studio apartment size place. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2.5 bath, 1,747 square foot home here for $375,000. It's just not even that great either. It's a pricey, we'll say. Then I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. 2,556 square foot place. It's on 2.78 acres.
Shit, yeah.
It's on a big acreage. $629,900. So it's pricey up there, man. That is pricey. Things to do in this area, not a lot. Everything is Prescott. Go to Prescott. Go to Prescott. Everything here is like, well, if you just go to Prescott down the road, like we don't do shit here. But them down, they got stuff going on.
Have you been to that Lynx Lake? It's down in Prescott.
If you go down to Prescott, also there's this restaurant. It's in Prescott. It's everything.
There's a golf course down there near Prescott.
Is it? Where is it now? Honey, where did we say? Oh, Prescott. It's in Prescott. That's right. Everything is just down the road in Prescott in the next. And Prescott's got 39,000 people in it. It's not like it's the big city.
Does it really?
39,000 people in the Prescott area.
That's fascinating.
I think that includes Prescott Valley and all that shit around there. Things to do here. I have the Friends of Williamson Valley Fire District annual arts and crafts show. That's what they do here.
You got to be friends of the fire people?
That's who puts it on. It's a juried show. They judge shit. Highlights a select group of artisans and crafters under the tall trees that shade the historic Courthouse Plaza in downtown Prescott. Even that's in Prescott, but it's from there. Ridiculous. Free to everybody, so enjoy that, for Christ's sake. Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in here. Property crime is about half the average national rate, which is not bad. And violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is about 1/3 under the average. So it's about 2/3 of the national average. So it's safer than usual here, which it's a bunch of old people living in expensive houses. So you expect that. And none of these people get murdered in like a beautiful house in this thing anyway. So like we said, we needed to peg this on a town. Sorry, Williamson. Well, guess what? Now people know you exist. Before now, honestly, if Jimmy doesn't know that you exist and you're in Arizona, you're in a piney area of Arizona, you do not fucking exist, because every weekend he goes and drives around northern Arizona. That's all he does. Christ almighty.
I love it up there.
I know you do. It's beautiful
amazing.
up there, especially you like to drive like in the woods and shit like that, and it's fun up there. It's gorgeous up there. But like I'm saying though, if you don't know a 57 square mile area, you don't even know what the hell it is. That shit is flying under the radar. Let's just say, not a lot happening.
Those old people don't want people to know about it.
I feel like it's a secret. Yeah, they're like, don't you tell nobody.
You know, I worked 60.3 years on this planet.
Do you understand?
You know how long I worked to live away from these fucking people?
I feel like nobody's allowed to leave. Maybe it's like a weird, like
Hills have eyes.
Yeah, like a compound. Like once you go there, they're like, welcome, and then you go to like your first.
The gates fucking
you go
slam.
to like a potluck, welcome to town, dinner town thing. Welcome to town dinner, and you go there, and they're like, yay, and they have a big toast to you, and you're the guest of honor, and they go, you know, you can't leave, right? You know, y'all can't leave, right?
Hope you liked traveling.
Did you say goodbye to your grandkids?
Because they ain't welcome neither.
They ain't welcome here. We don't have no young folk. We have a bunch of kids that are 15 to 17, and they're little shitheads, and we ain't having no more. You ain't allowed to leave and tell nobody else what's going on here. This place is involuntary cocoon. Enjoy. Wilford Brimley is that away, which is the name.
Jessica Tandy's around the corner. Get your ass over there.
Which is going to be the name of this show, Involuntary Cocoon.
Your grandkids ain't welcome unless they get on that smack. Then they can come on down to the rehab center.
Fill the rehab centers up, boy. So, Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about one of the best things out there, Blue Apron.
BlueApron.com.
Come on, guys. You've heard about Blue Apron. If you haven't heard the words Blue Apron, I don't know where you've been. Maybe you don't know what it is. If you don't, I don't know what planet you're on, but they're an amazing company that delivers farm-fresh ingredients and step-by-step recipes right to your door. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone, and that's exactly what they do. I'm telling you guys, you get this box. It has everything you need in it. The recipes are step-by-step, even if you don't know how to cook. Yeah. If you're not good at cooking, you can follow these recipes, and they include every last little spice, every fleck of anything you could need in that recipe is in there, and not more than you need. You're not going to have all leftover little packets of things. It is fantastic. Let Blue Apron do the meal prep for you. Dinner is in as little as 20 minutes. You can choose from chef-design recipes. They deliver fresh, seasonally inspired ingredients. Dinner in as little as 20 minutes. That's it right there. That's nothing more you can say than that makes it any better. Every week, at least 3 recipes built in with your busy schedule in mind. These are really, really good recipes, too. This isn't garbage. We have smoky chicken and sweet potato. This is amazing. Hot Italian sausage pizza, home-style beef medallions, and maple pan sauce, beef and broccoli and cumin spiced sauce, hearty vegetable grain bowl. These are all some choices this week, and they have wine plans, different size plans, everything like that. You cannot go wrong with Blue Apron. They offer a range of recipes, all different things, whether you're looking for a quick little meal or a more of a full course thing, culinary. They have all of the stuff to choose from. They're chef-design recipes. So check out this week's menu of all that delicious stuff we told you about, and get your first 3 meals free at blueapron.com/small. That's blueapron.com/small to get your first 3 meals free. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Blueapron.com/small for 3 free meals. Go get your meals. And now back to the show.
Let's talk about a murder that happened in this town here. We have to go back to 1994. 1994, rural northern Arizona. Yeah. So there is, 2,000 people in the area in this time, in a huge, in a 57 square mile area. There is 2,000 people scattered throughout the forest. So this is not
just dotting the hillside.
And a lot of these are like beautiful. A lot of these are like beautiful mountain houses. But in 94, this is before they built a lot of the new shit. So there's a bunch of like older shit and some nice old stuff, and then some, mountain people that live there also that I don't think live there anymore. They've been priced out. 2 people.
That's a good way to get the riffraff out. Make your houses worth $650 grand.
That's it.
And mountain people are done for.
That's it. Well, yeah, they'll sell. That's what they do. Well, that's pretty much how they do with when they want to build a
gentrification.
That's how they do gentrification anyway. Yeah. And they're like, well, shit, you never thought your house was worth $300 grand, did you? Well, it is now.
Today
and then they build $1 million house on it, and then these people try to find a place to live nearby with that money and can't, and that's what happens, and it sucks.
I grew up here.
Shit.
I raised a family here.
Oh, well.
I can't live
maybe
here.
I'll buy a new house. 648 square feet. I have 3 kids. I don't think that's going to cut it. Never mind. So these people here, a couple people we'll talk about. Number 1 is a woman named Lisa Kester, Lisa Dawn Kester. She's 28 years old in 1994, and she's kind of troubled. She's got kind of a troubled she's 28, but she likes to drink and she does some drugs and she likes to just generally fuck around, and she likes to kind of be a jackass with this guy who's a real jackass. This is why I feel like she has problems. And I don't know too much about her upbringing or anything like that, but I feel like there's got to be issues with her because she is hanging out with and being a girlfriend, having a serious relationship with a guy named George Russell Kayer Sr., by the way. Yeah. He named his child Junior. Eesh. For all you crime and sports listeners, bad fucking sign right there. Yeah. And he makes sure to tack that senior on all of his shit, too. He is George Kayer Sr.
Do not mistake me for that one.
No. He's 40 years old at the time, so there's a 12-year age difference, which is fine if everybody's got their shit together.
Right.
That's the thing. But if he's a scumbag, and we'll talk about what level of scumbag he is in a minute, if he's kind of a dirtbag, it's a different thing. Then there's something wrong with. Then she's got problems, I assume, to tolerate that relationship.
Or it's the other direction where she was just raised in such a fucking sheltered life.
Or there's that too.
To the crazy side.
That happens too. Yeah. That happens too. I remember on back in the day on the Loveline radio show that people would call in and they'd ask their question and they go, "Hold on, we're going to bet on you." And they would bet on the person's past, just based on here's my problem. They would bet on how you grew up and all that kind of shit. What leads to that?
Right.
And this sort of thing is either one or the other. It's either not this situation, but a situation like this. They were always either
it was on the show.
Was your father a pastor or did your uncle molest you? Which one was? Or did your dad leave or that sort of? And we don't mean obviously people have free will and choices, and sometimes they just like to be with fuck ups, but generally. If you're 28, not 19, if you're 28 and you're still fucking around with some 40-year-old dirtbag and doing drugs and all that kind of shit, something's wrong. Something's wrong, basically, with your whole
deal. And I love Dr. Drew, but man, did his questions come off creepy.
Oh, boy. He's the most well-meaning but creepy sounding guy.
It's really hard to listen to him go, "Did your uncle molest you?" And it feels like he's got it out and he's tugging to the story.
See, I never got that off him. I always feel like he's overly empathetic, but the thing is, I don't feel like he's faking it. I just feel like he has an abundance of empathy that's weird to me, that I find that. Now, that's a good thing, and I find it creepy because there's something wrong with me, because I'm damaged, but that's a whole other trail to go down. But it's empathy mixed
with a drip of a personality. You know what I mean? And that's where the creepy breeds.
Well, if you listen to how he grew up too,
I don't know fuck about him.
His dad was a doctor, and he's a real achiever, and he was never did anything wrong, and he went to all the best prep schools, and he went to the Amherst, I believe. He went to he's very much very
upper crust.
Yeah. They used to. Carolla used to always make fun of him for it. He used to always say that him and his ascot when he was a kid. He
is just white privilege embodied.
He said Carolla used to say that he went to who was it, Lord something's school for hemophiliacs or some shit, where your uniform included an ascot issued to you and all this shit. So but he tries to be very, I don't know, enough Dr. Drew shit. But we're not psychiatrists. But I just, from experience and from just general shit, that's what you're going to get. There's something wrong with both these people, probably, I'm going to assume. Now, George fancies himself a writer and a cartoonist. Okay. And we'll say too, his cartoons aren't bad. He's not bad at drawing them. We'll say they make no sense. We'll talk about it. No, he's not an anything guy. He fancies himself a writer.
Oh, so
fancies himself.
Got it.
Yeah, he's not.
Got a notepad in the corner.
He's not Stephen King. We'll put it that way. They're not. People aren't just hunting him down for his next novel. It's, he's not
the Peanuts guy in the Sunday comic strip.
No. He claims that at 14, now I couldn't track this down from, a mid-60s NRA, National Rifle Association magazine, but he claims that when he was 14, he was published in the National Rifle Association's magazine, American Rifleman, which sounds frightening.
Like an essay of his.
An essay, or I don't know if it was a letter going, I like to shoot guns. Right. And they said, well, this young man's he's a model for the youth of today. But he claims also after this is so weird, okay? I don't know much about this, but he says he was published. He was a writing son of a bitch when he was a kid. Okay. I mean, he claims he's highly intelligent and he's a writer and he's all this shit, but he says shortly after he was published in National Rifle Association, he developed dyslexia in his mid-teens.
What?
I don't know if that's true, and I'm not positive about it, but I don't think that's how that works. I don't think it's like Alzheimer's, where you start to develop it, and you're like, can't read as good anymore. Like I'm reading less well now.
I've heard the opposite, where you have it, and then it diminishes as you get older.
Yeah, if you work on it.
Right, but I've never heard of it just popping up.
I mean, to the point where he was a published writer the year before.
But now.
9th grade, getting shit published. 10th grade, what fuck? Oh, shit, I can't read that. I don't know. Was that? Wow, damn. O-T-O, okay.
He's writing shit in crayon with K's backwards.
No, not that dyslexia makes you write shit in crayon with K's backwards, as I was saying. But
that's not how it works.
We're making fun of him, not dyslexics. We're making fun of a person saying that I went from being a great writer to not being able to read the next year in my teens. because that's not
just lost it.
He lost it like a pitcher loses his fastball.
I don't have any more stank on it.
I don't get it. Last year, that curve really snapped and broke down in the zone, and this year it's just kind of fucking laying out there. The crowd, I don't get it, man. He lost it. Like, super strange.
He could write about race cars because race cars are the same forward.
Yeah, it's true. That's a good point. And it's a good subject for him, but he can't write anything about it. Just race car, race car,
writes race car over and over again.
We realize that's not dyslexia, but he's claiming he's got a lot of excuses for a lot of shit we'll talk about for everything. It's pretty amazing. Okay. He began failing English classes during high school after this, so he went from published writer on his way to I can't read, I can't pass English, I don't know what happened.
Well, what the fuck happened?
You know what happened to me in high school? Because I was the same way. I was really good, and then I started being interested in girls and weed, and I started failing English. I didn't get dyslexic. I read less, but not because I was dyslexic, because I went, hey, weed's good, and she's got a great ass. This is fucking amazing. And I'm 16, and that's all I can think about. And basketball. Those are my interests right now.
And I'm sitting in this class, and I can't get rid of this boner. I'm going to the bathroom.
This is not cool. Yeah, I'm going to fail this class. I can't focus.
Fuck this class. I got to get rid of this boner.
That's the thing here. He goes, we'll talk about his past a little bit. 1990, I'm digging up shit on this guy was hard, man. Really wasn't easy. This is one of those cases that is like, if you look it up on Murderpedia, it's just a paragraph.
Really?
And you're like, ooh, that's not a lot to go on. So you had to go deep into it and find the court documents, and they had one on there, but then I had to find the appeals that had the deeper shit on it and all that shit. And then I had to go
like Jake Gyllenhaal and Zodiac.
That's what I'm doing, man. This is, and I go into the newspaper archives, and I did find when his father died in 1990.
Okay.
His father, now this might explain something of, I don't know. His father's name is Heinz Rotow. His nickname was Smokey. Smokey. Yeah. Smokey, but Smokey's from Germany.
Yes.
He's he died in 1990 at 76 years old. So
that dates him to some pretty bad shit.
That dates him to
right smack in the middle of that shit.
I don't know if it never says on his obituary when he came over here, but if it was, I don't know,
right around 43.
If he came, hopefully he came in 37. Good for him. Yeah, his parents saw some bad shit on the horizon and decided to come on over to the States. I don't think that's how it works.
Oh, that's a bad time to be German.
Not a good time to be German. I was like, ooh, 76, 1990. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. He was 30 years old in 1944. That is prime Jew-killing time. That is not a good age to be at that time.
That's a man
They made you do bad shit.
Yeah.
And you
so
did it.
many S's on his jacket.
We're just not happy with this at all. Smokey, what's that stand for?
What'd you smoke, sir?
Yeah, not people, I hope.
I pray that is not
terrible. Yeah.
Jewish jerky.
No good. So bad stuff here. But he died in 1990. Now, George also has a couple of brothers, and a brother and a sister, and he has one child of his own, who I believe he might have two, but one he gives a shit about.
Gotcha.
And then his sister has some kids too. That is Junior, and who will use as an excuse for things later on.
Oh, get out.
Obviously. Come on. He's a junior.
Right, but he blames the kid?
No. He tries to get out of something using the kid as an excuse of like, but my kid.
Right.
They're like, yeah, sorry. Just because you named him Junior doesn't mean you actually give a fuck or do anything stupid.
Yeah.
So, Lisa Kester, we're talking about, the 28-year-old girlfriend of George Kayer. Lisa says that George, annoyingly, to the point of annoyance, constantly bragged about a gambling system that he's concocted in his dyslexic head.
I love it.
To defeat the Las Vegas casinos.
Oh, no.
Okay. Now, the people that do come up with gambling systems that actually do defeat the Las Vegas casinos are MIT scholars.
Right.
That's who does it. Literally, they have MIT card teams that do crazy fucking math and then come up with the way to do this shit. Right. Dyslexic idiots who come from the fucking mountains of Arizona and fail English class don't fucking do this. I get that English and math have nothing to do with each other, and neither does dyslexia. He's not defeating the Vegas casinos, okay? You're not Rain Man. Sorry.
The formula for defeating casinos requires some algebra, which has letters, which he can't read.
There'll be backwards, and he's going to mess it up. So... Do not tweet us about dyslexia. We know it's a fucking joke. He's an idiot that tried to say that he went from being the next Stephen King to not being able to read in a year's time. Right. That's not okay.
He's incredible.
Do you ever think maybe his eyesight went bad too? Is that a possibility? His parents just didn't.
That's when I started wearing glasses.
Yeah, and his hardcore German father was just like, "You're fine," and he just he's like, "But I really can't see," and he's like, "Weak," and he's like, "I don't okay."
Eat more sauerkraut.
He's like, "You go." And he's like, "I don't know," and he just went to school and he's like, "I think I'm dyslexic. I can't read that at all." And maybe that's what it was. Yeah. So this George he's got a system. Boy, he's going to defeat the Vegas casinos, which whenever anybody says that without any background in some kind of crazy theoretical math or whatever, I think it's pretty fucking amusing, honestly. Unless it's like, sit at the slot machine that's closest to the aisle because they want people to see it hitting. That's advice that you can give how to beat it.
I've never heard that.
That's one of those old
clever
Vegas tricks. Is on the end of aisles somewhere, the most visible slot machines hit the most because they want people to see them hitting, because then they walk up by and they go, oh shit, people are winning.
Oh look, there's another one exactly the same right next to it.
Exactly. Right. Whereas the ones in further, a little tighter wound.
I don't know. I've seen more grandmas fucking knocking them out on those ones that are deep down the aisle.
I think they're there every day and they know specifically which they've done every machine and this is the one.
This one's been cycled enough to get some wins out of it.
They bribe the calibration guy to tell them which one's loose. They pen them in with their walkers.
Which one's throwing cherries at you?
Which one? Which one's 777s? Don't fuck with us. Don't you mess with us, I'll tell you right now. So, that's their little old lady gang.
I love it.
That would be great. So the problem was, this is a guy who got his girlfriend. They live in what is it, Cordes Junction? Cordes Junction, I believe. Yeah, Cordes Junction, Cordes River. Which one is the one?
Oh, Cordes Junction is up there. There's also
Cordes Lake. Cordes Lake.
That's what I was going to say.
Cordes Lake. They live by Cordes Lake, which is southeast of Tucson.
Right.
Or Tucson, Prescott.
Right.
So you have Prescott in the middle, and you have down southeast is Cordes Lake, where George Kayer and Lisa live, and then Williamson is northwest.
Okay.
About probably 40, 50 miles away from each other. With
once
Prescott
you get off
the
freeway, Prescott's maybe 30 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And you get off the freeway at Cordes Lake, Cordes Junction, and it's just up the road. So then Williamson would be 15 minutes away.
It's another 20 minutes north or whatever we said there.
Got it.
So problem is, he's going around, he's like, I got this system, man. I got this system. And I don't know if and she's with him, but I think she's just like, Jesus Christ. She knows he's a fucking moron. Yeah. She knows this guy isn't the smartest guy in the world, but I don't know if she's believes him or what, but it doesn't matter because neither of them ever have any money to go gamble with. So he's got this system that he is just fucking, it's it. This is the one for him. He just needs to get to Vegas, and then he will be in the Rain Man suite and be retired in no time. He's going to be like one of those idiots on ESPN in the middle of the night with his hat pulled down and a hood up, fucking playing poker. Yeah. He's ready to go. But instead, too broke to ever do it. That's how surefire way to just be done and be rich for life, but he can't scrape up a few bucks to do that, which is very sad. Instead,
he'll never be Dan Bilzerian.
No. What is that? Who's that?
That's a guy. He's a fucking. He's a veteran from the military.
Yeah,
and he is a super jacked dude with a big long beard with rifles and shit. But he wins in casinos.
Oh, is he a poker guy?
Yeah, he's an Instagram fucking legend.
One of those,
he has fucking 30 million people on
World
Instagram.
Series of poker lunatics.
But he does orgies on Instagram and takes pictures of all these women that he's banging. Point is, he's what this idiot wants to be. All he needs is that one big payday at a casino.
Yeah, but he has a system, though. Does that guy have a system, Jimmy?
I think it's
just
probably
have a
be
system.
Handsome, and the casino probably just doesn't give a shit what you do.
This
guy, Dan
I hate those World Series of Poker assholes. They have nicknames and shit.
Yeah.
Shut up. Shut up.
The fucking Black
Widow. Are you kidding me?
Dick, sir.
What is the one guy? The Unabomber. Like, no. Take your fucking sunglasses and your hat off and sit there like a normal person, you dipshit. You fucking idiot with your hood pulled over your head.
There's always a little Asian guy. There's always a big, like a high roller, like dude that's a CEO of a company.
Some dipshit with his headphones on. Like, well, you can't be bothered.
That's like 19.
Yeah, you fucking jackass.
You.
Yeah.
Why do you have so much time?
Who flew there on his own plane? Like, fuck these people. You can't like these people.
No, there's zero likability about all of them.
About any of them. So he instead, the reason why he has no money is because he can't really hold a job. Okay. He's a traveling salesman, sort of, kind of. If you want to call it that. He sells T-shirts and jewelry and like knick-knack. Shit like to stores and stands in northern Arizona and shit like that. I don't know what he's doing.
Like a mobile swap meet?
He goes around with like two suitcases trying to sell turquoise shitty jewelry to roadside fucking gas stations in northern Arizona. I don't know what he's doing, but that does not sound lucrative.
No.
I can see you not having a lot of extra money to gamble with if that's your profession.
He's a picker.
He's a picker. Yeah, kind of. Sort of. He's selling T-shirts. What kind of I farted in Arizona and that's like it's turquoise and pink. I farted in the Avapague Valley.
He's got tchotchkes. He's got the shit from gas stations that
That's
nobody
what it
buys.
sounds like. Right. Yeah, the crap. But in those northern Arizona gas stations, people actually buy that shit from out of state. They're like, honey, turquoise, look. And they're like, holy shit, I ain't never seen no silver turquoise
When
jewelry.
you shake the snow globe, there's flakes.
It's sand in there. That's funny. Now that's... Hey, y'all see the lollipop with the scorpion in it? I'm going to buy 7-8 of those and bring back home with me. And that's a panhandle, like we said, not southern, because that's what people in New York, I remember coming out here going, oh, it's great. We should buy a few of these fucking scorpion things and take them back home. People get a kick out of this shit. And it's like, no,
that's gross.
Stop it. It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
They call it tequila sucker. Meanwhile, there's no tequila in it at all.
No tequila, but there's a bug in there. Right. Thanks.
There's a cockroach. There's one with a mealworm in it.
Predatory insect. Yeah, the tequila one with the fucking stupid worm. Now, he did supplement his income from his clearly lucrative traveling sales business. His other source of income is, quote, bilking the government of benefits through fake identities that both he and Kester created.
It's called identity theft.
So it's called identity theft. So in 94, him and his girlfriend, these two are coming up with fake identities so they can get like fake Social Security checks and benefit checks from other people. And he's also a veteran too. He was in the military. Also,
what an asshole.
He's in the military, this guy, at one point. So I don't know if he knows the system a little bit, basically, having to do shit through the military. I don't know if he knows just good at paperwork. I don't know. But they figure it out, and that's what I mean. She's not just going along for the ride. She's involved in this shit too. Like, they live by like, oh, go sell some T-shirts and I'll steal someone's identity and then we'll get a check next month. And that's how they live.
Good Christ.
So, I mean,
isn't that bananas that
it's a fucked up way to live,
that a fucking dummy like this can figure...
He figures it out.
To steal
He's
somebody's
not stupid.
identity?
That's the thing. He's not stupid. He's just not a good reader.
He's a fucking...
Not a strong word, but he's not
he's
stupid.
He's not a reader.
He's not a reader. Which, I mean, you're not a reader.
No.
You can.
But I don't know how to... I wouldn't have the first fucking idea how to steal an identity. This guy's just a fucking gamesman and manipulator.
He's a criminal. He's a career criminal,
straight
too.
Up criminal.
He's a career criminal, a career underemployed. Fills in his income with illegality. Right. That's just how he fucking rolls.
Underachieving motherfucker.
Yeah, that's how he was going to be a published author.
Right.
Think about at 14.
Grace.
Think about this is Grace. This is definitely Grace. Think about at 14 how happy his Nazi German father was that he's published in a rifle magazine. He's probably like, my son, the American rifleman. This is what I dreamed of when I came here. And next thing you know, he's doing this horse shit. So not terrific. He claims a history of mental illness and also a history of suicide ideation. So he's just thought about it a lot and had ideas.
To the club,
that's what I was going to say. That's I don't know if
that doesn't excuse any behavior ever.
And that's a lot of people too. Yeah. And so that's also a history of alcoholism in his family. It's you're fucking German. What do you want?
Yeah.
Sorry. And also So he claims polysubstance abuse, just anything he can get his fucking hands on.
All of it.
So it's him and his girlfriend, and he's selling knickknacks and turquoise shit and T-shirts and bilking the government and fucking faking identities and buying drugs with it and coming up with gambling schemes that he can't get enough money for because he's got to buy drugs with that money.
He is great.
He's a mess, this guy. This guy's this is like Northern Arizona, what you think of outside of the nice shit. And
Right.
It's like, and then there's a bunch of these people running around the mountains, hopped up on meth.
The people that believe in the vortex of Sedona.
Yeah. Oh shit, them and 65-year-old ladies. So, 1981, he is convicted of first-degree burglary, which is a pretty serious offense, actually. A first-degree burglary is a pretty hefty one.
It's horse thieving of that time.
I believe it's horse thievery. Cattle rustling was his charge on that one. So that is 94, as he's 40, so he's, 27 when this happens. Yeah. So he just has a lot of history of petty crime. That's his big serious offense, though. That's his, one that you can throw out there and go, that's not a good guy. First degree burglary is not okay.
He's a bad dude.
He's got a bunch of shit, drug shit, and this and that, and knick-knack shit that you can't find, basically. He sells knickknacks. He's arrested by knickknacks. It's all knickknacks.
That's a charge that you expect of a guy that does the extracurriculars that he's into.
That's the thing. That's exactly right.
That's where you're going.
If you're faking identities,
this life, right?
Well, it seems like he figured out that breaking in and burglarizing things is a good way to get caught, and that's a pretty serious felony and all that. But this whole identity theft, if we just come up with different identities and stuff like that, this is a whole different ball game here. This is not like no one's going to catch me with the loot bag in my hand in the middle of emptying the safe. Like this is fine.
This is pre-big internet stuff.
That's
so
what I mean.
It's so much easier to get away with it.
This would be so hard to track somebody who's doing this shit in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it took them 18 years to find the fucking Unabomber.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Back then,
stowed away.
That's what I'm saying, because he was stowed away. So this guy, who the fuck knows how long they could do this for? By 1994, he is wanted also on a probation violation.
Wow.
So he's got a gambling scheme, but no money, traveling salesman, lots of drugs. Him and his girlfriend have schemes. He's a convicted burglar, and he's wanted for a probation violation. Probation for one of his many just problems out there that he gets into. So obviously everything is going super well. Super well. What I understand, Lisa's parents love him. Oh, just no. I'm sure they hated his fuck. Or if her parents gave two shits about her, which they probably don't, then they would hate this fucking man, I'm sure, but they're probably not around. So there you go. Also, by the way, Lisa's pregnant with his child right now.
Is that Junior?
That is no. He's already had a junior. This is his second one.
Okay.
This is a second. This is another one coming up here. Don't know what sex this is, but he's got another child out there somewhere. I assume this is the one. And who the fuck knows what else he's got floating around out there, floating around the forest of northern Arizona, tree children.
It's easy to get lost.
It is, and who the fuck knows what he did with them? Just stored them in a hollowed out tree or something, and we're like, he'll be good. He's fine. What I will do, though, is take his identity and get me another chick.
He definitely has a social security number.
You know that. And he's, poor child's just real disabled. We're going to have to get him some money. So, you know how that goes. So, she's pregnant with his kid. So this is a fucking mess. Yeah. This is just a swirling storm of white trashery and hillbillery and nickery that I can't wrap my head around this. This sounds like a nightmare. This is like one of those situations where you see from the outside and you would think about how would you go in and fix it. Yeah. I wouldn't know where to start. No. This is like one of those where you walk in and it's not just the kids have made a mess in the house. It's the cops came and raided it looking for cocaine in the walls. And you just go, well, we got to just move. We just should burn this fucking place to the ground because it's destroyed. That's what's this guy's life.
On the way out, when the cops slammed the door, some candles fell over on the old newspaper.
And just burned it all to the ground, thankfully.
It's just all flaming.
That's what I feel like is going on. If you walked in this front door, you wouldn't start by going, okay, I'll mop that up, clean this, sweep that. You just go, I don't have any fuck it. Just slam the door behind him. Hope it burns. So
if you close the door, it disappears.
It's just gone.
Close the door quick.
Okay, I am leaving now. Now, they know a guy named Delbert Haas, Haas, Haas. Delbert, which sounds like an older man's name, which you're not mistaken because Delbert is 63 in 1994. Okay. So Delbert's born in 1931, obviously. So Delbert's an older fella. Delbert is Delbert used to be like a biker kind of guy and shit like that. Like, Delbert's an old...
He's been through some shit.
He's been through some shit. Delbert's he's not some just little old man sitting there doing what... And 63 is not an old man, but in 94, 63 was older than it is now. Yeah. It just is. Yeah. But still, this guy was spry and shit like that. Now, I found an article. He's been through some shit, though, because I found a newspaper article on Delbert Haas from 1977.
Oh, boy.
Okay, where he was in a horrible motorcycle accident. So bad that it was in the newspaper. That's how about in a major city. It was in Phoenix too. It wasn't up in the middle of nowhere here. It was a guy a man that he was riding with was killed in it. A motorcycle collided with two vehicles.
Oh, no.
Is what happened here. They said there was a patrolman that saw it. He was riding. He said that this guy Stewart was the other guy. Stewart was riding his motorcycle north on Cave Creek Road, which is he lost control on a curve at 16th Street. We all know where all this shit
exactly
is.
Where that is.
We know exactly where that is.
Fucking Sunny Slope.
Yeah, it's right up there. Lost there and sideswiped a southbound car driven by a 34-year-old woman named Judy Schrauner, and the passenger on the motorcycle on the back of it was Delbert Haas.
Two dudes on a motorcycle.
Point. Yeah, they were going up Sunny Slope.
You never do that.
First of all, we know Sunny Slope. If you're not from Phoenix, which most of you aren't, Sunny Slope is a real kind of cracky area.
It's horrible.
It's it's an area where you go, wow, if they would have figured out that this could have been really nice before the crackheads moved in, this place could be fucking gorgeous because it's these beautiful hills and the sunset there is beautiful and it's all fucking crackheads.
It was a TB village when it started. That's what it was there
still is. Yeah. It fucking still is. Those people, I would rather they all had tuberculosis because at least that's treatable. This shit, what they have, they're a fucking disaster.
You need to head on up to Williamson and get into those rehabs.
These people in here, these are zombie fucking... At night, you just see people skittering across the road and shit. It is
shadows and shit.
It is horrible up there.
You're driving down the road, and if you don't have your eyes open...
Oh, yeah. You will hit a crackhead.
You will hit one.
You will hit somebody on something. So if you're on the back of a motorcycle...
It's so bad in that neighborhood that a serial killer was hiding in fucking plain sight.
Oh, yeah, nobody cared.
The guy that was sawing off heads and throwing them in canals.
Like at least
he was just camping out right
he's
there.
He's not freaking out in the middle of the road holding a crack seance, so they said he's fine, probably.
So bad the man had a retired police car that said, like, zombie apocalypse rescue vehicle. That shit
You just ignore that,
shit
though.
Didn't raise a red flag.
Not in Sunny Slope. Not in Sunny Slope. Sunny Slope,
crazy.
Yeah, it's not cool. And this guy, another very Phoenix-centric fact, Delbert Haas at the time, his address was 328 East Hatcher. So 3rd Street in Hatcher.
Right there.
Right by like John C. Lincoln Hospital.
That might be the
south
house.
of that, or north of that. That's the heart and soul of this area.
Yeah.
So if you live in that area and you're riding on the back of another guy's motorcycle through there, your life isn't exactly working out wonderfully for you, especially if you're 46 years old, as Delbert was when this was happening.
Holy shit, a 46-year-old man on the back of another dude's motorcycle?
Crazy.
Get a car, fellas.
So Delbert...
There are 3 things you don't share with another man, James. It's an umbrella, an ice cream cone, and a fucking motorcycle.
What's that from now?
Nothing.
What is that? No, it is from something.
That's my joke.
No, it's not your joke.
I tell it on stage.
Yeah, but it's from something else, Doug. It's not your punchline. You say that in something else, but it's that's an old thing of you don't share the lollipop and an ice cream cone and a motorcycle.
I've never heard that in my life.
Really? I've heard that old people. I've heard old bikers say. I thought it was
genius for writing that down.
Well, you put the third one in there, and that was funny too. And you didn't know it, so it doesn't matter. It's not like you heard it and then wrote it down. But old bikers said that.
Really?
Yeah, you don't share 2 things you don't never share with another man: an ice cream cone and a motorcycle.
It's brilliant.
I used to sell bikers weed when I was a teenager. So
you don't.
That's what they told me, and I guess it's right because you figured it out too.
I thought I was a genius.
You are. You are a genius, Jimmy. Don't sell yourself fucking short.
Something so funny.
Don't sell yourself short.
No, Delbert probably said that shit in 76.
I'm sure he did. He's like, fuck it. So
we don't got a car.
When this motorcycle hits this car, Delbert is thrown from the motorcycle. But he's lucky to be thrown from the motorcycle. Actually, he actually gets the better of this whole thing.
Yeah.
He's thrown from the motorcycle, but Stewart, the guy who was riding it, stayed on the motorcycle as it flipped over.
Oh no!
And then slid on its side and slammed into a pickup truck driven by a 24-year-old man named Eldon Johnson, which is crazy. Then that's not bad enough. The motorcycle burst into flames.
Oh God!
So this is it's like a cartoon, basically. It bounces off one, flips over, slides, slams into something else, and you go, oh, well, at least a poof, and then it bursts into flames. You're like, shit, okay, never mind.
And that's why they don't have seatbelts.
Yeah, it's like a Reno 911 thing. Oh, he's fine. It's all right. Poof. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's not okay. No, shit.
Yeah, well, somebody get a fire extinguisher.
And a bystander pulled Stewart out of the fire.
Oh, God.
And he ends up, the motorcycle was burned. The pickup truck was burned by the motorcycle. They burned together. Mm-hmm. And the woman in the car had injuries even. That's how hard they hit. Yeah. They make a motorcycle flip and fly off of you.
And he sideswiped that car.
Sideswiped so hard that it made a motorcycle fly into the air, which motorcycles are heavy.
And injure someone.
Yeah. Stewart dies 4 hours later at John C. Lincoln Hospital, which is right there.
Right there.
I mean, it is 2 fucking minutes away from there.
He probably could have walked there.
I mean, they got him there ASAP. Yeah. I mean, there's no way he didn't, and he still died. So that's how bad he was. And Haas was treated and released. He was in good condition, and he got sent down to county because he probably didn't have any insurance.
Yeah.
So this is a guy who's been through some shit. Well, it's true.
Yeah, they took him all the way down to 24th.
Yeah, they're like, fuck, I know it's an even farther drive, but the other hospital's literally a block away. Doesn't matter. We're taking you the other one.
Cover it.
I might die. We might. We'll see.
We will.
All right.
We will definitely find out.
All right. We'll see. So this Delbert at the time, George and Lisa are hanging out with him, and they like hanging out with him. And they find out Delbert lets slip to George that he recently received a large amount of money from an insurance settlement. This guy has bad fucking luck because this is another insurance settlement. What else happened to him? Jesus. Christ, in 77 he flew off a flaming motorcycle and now he's getting another one? Yeah. Jesus Christ. Maybe that's how he makes his living. He just rides on the back of motorcycles with people. He's like, if I survive, that's another 5 years I can live on it. That's all I'm saying.
Just runs through grocery stores looking for that's a wet aisle.
So there it is, and he starts running with his car.
There's no wet sign out yet. Let's go.
Goes around, finds people on motorcycles, and go, can I just hop on the back just for a minute?
Hires people to hit him.
Yeah, so Lisa Kester and George Kaler visit Haas. They go to his house near Cordes Lakes in November of 1994, and Lisa says that it's at this meeting in November of 1994 that George convinces Delbert Haas to go gambling with them because what does he have?
Money.
He's looking at it this way. And the thing is, too, like, I really think that George is looking at it this way. Look, man, I have this system. He believes in this system. Yeah. It's one thing. He's a delusional fucking moron with magical thinking. He thinks he's smart and he believes in this system and he's thinking, you have money. Yeah. We are going to benefit each other, boy. You're going to get rich off my fucking genius system and all you need to do is put up money. Who can't do that? That's easy. Fuck. It's all you have to do is fly off a motorcycle and watch it burst into flames and you get that. No problem at all. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about our great sponsor, Madison Reed.
Madison-Reed.
Oh, that's right.
REED.com.
You have to go there, guys. Well, I should say ladies here. This is for you guys. This is the best hair color you can get out there. The best at-home hair color.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah, this is better than going to a salon because you're going to get it cheaper and you're going to get it. It's going to be less expensive. You're going to have more control over it. And with a great product like Madison Reed, it is actually just as high quality. Jimmy, I look at your head right now and I see it's screaming for some Madison Reed.
Fill it in.
Now, obviously, we are two men. I have short brown hair. I have no need for any kind of color. Jimmy has hardly any hair at all, so really no need for a color there. We could just paint his head with a Sharpie, but if he did need color, he would use Madison Reed.
Madison-Reed.
Madison-Reed.com because it's for decades, women have had really no options for this. They can have kind of a lousy hair coloring at home, or they can have this super expensive, complicated process that takes 3 hours at the salon and that whole thing. But now you can have this amazing color. It's salon quality for less than $25. That's amazing. From what I understand, they are reinventing hair color, at home hair color, and it's working. It's working, and it's a lot of what it is women you guys are busy. That's all there is to it. You're busy. A lot of times you don't have time to go somewhere for 3 hours, or you don't want to pay that kind of money. You're busy, so join all the women who are doing this life-changing, awesome thing and coloring their hair with Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at Madison-Reed, REED.com. Madison Reed would like to honor Small Town Murder listeners with 10% off plus free shipping on their first color kit. All you have to do is use the promo code SMALL. That's promo code SMALL, Madison-Reed.com.
Madison-Reed, REED.com, promo code SMALL, and get 10% off and free shipping. And now back to the show.
The Small Town Murder Podcast is brought to you by Penguin Random House Audio. If you love a thrilling mystery series, try listening to the audio. Main characters like Juan Cabrillo and Stone Barrington come to life through your earbuds while listening to the latest novels by Clive Cussler and Stuart Woods. Or maybe you want to catch up on a John Sandford or Virgil Flower series before the next one, The Holy Ghost, comes out. Just listen to the audiobook. It's very easy. Audiobooks are a great way to keep up with your favorite series and be ready for the next book to hit the stands. Visit penguinrandomhouseaudio.com/series and start listening today.
And now back to the show.
So somehow Haas says, shit, you got a system. I got money. Let's go do this shit. So they decide to go gambling on November 30th, 1994. Sure. It is gambling time. George, Lisa, and Delbert, they leave for Laughlin, Nevada.
Oh, boy.
The classiest place around. They stop in Vegas first, and they go there, and they realize that that's... Maybe Laughlin's better.
They're going to catch us here.
Yeah, maybe Laughlin's a little more our speed. Yeah. If you don't know anything about Vegas and Laughlin, Laughlin is like if Vegas had an elderly white trash uncle that only came on Thanksgiving. It would be Laughlin.
You know, in
he wears
Swingers
overalls
when they
to
go,
court.
Yeah, well, in Swingers when they go to Vegas and they go, we need to be like in the old school.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's way better than Laughlin.
That's Vegas compared to Laughlin.
Yeah, Laughlin is god awful. Yeah. It's terrible.
Elvis Presley is walking through those casinos in comparison to what Laughlin
is a shithole. It is poor Vegas, I guess you could call it. You can get a hotel room for like $17 in Laughlin. So they leave. They end up in Laughlin. They leave in George's van. Of course, he's got a van. Obviously, he's going to have a van because you got to store your knickknacks and turquoise shit in the back.
That's the Cortez Junction vehicle, though.
Yeah, they stay in the same hotel room in Laughlin. Oh. You know how much a hotel room in Laughlin is, and it is not much, especially in '94.
Right.
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's literally, if you stay in our hotel for free, we'll give you a pass to the buffet. Please gamble something.
You plan on being on the slots, we'll give you a room.
Anything. Would you put in $3? That's a room.
Stay all week.
Stay all week, please. So they all stay in the same hotel room in a shitty gambling town, which is all bad all around, which is just weird. This guy and his girlfriend and this old guy all hanging out in the same room together. It's very, very strange. Although if they were gambling hardcore, they might not have been sleeping much. They might have just been gambling.
There's still no clocks.
Yeah. So after the first night of gambling, George says he won big. He did it. He said, "Fucking my system worked. I'm hit the jackpot, man. I'm up big time. I'm high rolling right now."
How much is it?
They're giving me fucking rooms. So there's no amount. We'll get to why that is. Why he doesn't say an exact amount.
Oh, so he's just bragging about it.
I won big.
Yeah.
I did it. I'm the man, right? So so at this point, Haas, even though this is from $100 that he got from Haas. Haas lent him $100 of his settlement money so that he could use the system.
$100 is a start?
That's his start. Yeah. Okay. He said he won big, and then he said, though, but he needed another $100. Now, I don't know why he needs another $100 if he won big. So he goes, I won big. I did it. My system's a big success. Yeah. All I need's another $100, which is right there. You're like, well, that doesn't sound right. You won big, though. I don't understand what you're talking about. But he gives him another $100 for some reason. Maybe just because he's insane. And he's like, I don't fucking know. Here's whatever.
Or he's blinded by the money and he's like, do it again.
Yeah, do it again. Come on. I'll make you the same amount. You just need to give me $100. That might have been it too. We don't know exactly. Yeah. He said this was so that George could further utilize his genius gambling system, that they're all like, oh my God, we're here with Rain Man. This is the greatest thing ever. We're gonna be out of this room in no time and into the suite. What's happening?
It's working.
I'm kidding. Laughlin doesn't have any suites. No. What are we talking about here? So
the only suites they have is like a C's Candy. Place.
Yeah, that's it. This is 2 rooms where one guy threw another guy through the wall. So you could walk through the hole. So technically that's a suite now. So we just charge you
2 rooms.
We charge you double if you want this one. So it's cheaper than putting a wall up. So at this point, shockingly enough, he goes back out to gamble some more, and he loses all this money.
Yeah.
Okay, he loses this $100. His strange that his gambling system isn't foolproof, on the money, pinpoint successful. I'm really surprised by that. I expected this guy. I don't know what it was, but I expected him to have some genius system, but he doesn't. So what he does is, rather than tell Delbert that, I'm a fucking moron and I lost all that money. Remember that gambling system I had? I fucked up bad on that one. Sorry it cost you $200, shrug of the shoulders. What George does, George Kaler tells Delbert that he won huge. I won super big. I won money. I couldn't even fit it all in my pockets, and I left the casino and I got robbed. Somebody jacked me for it.
Get out of here.
Somebody stole all my fucking money. They rolled me. They rolled me, man. He goes, they fucking rolled me. I had my pockets were full of money. My system was crushing. He's like, you have no fucking idea. Like, I couldn't lose. I had to lose a couple just to like get off suspicion, because people were suspicious at that point. Like pit bosses were looking at me and shit. I had to be cool. And then I walk out. Somebody must have been eyeballing me. That's what they do, see? And then you get outside. They fucking roll me, man, and stole everything I had, which sounds like horse shit, obviously. But yeah, it sounds obviously. So Lisa says, well, what are we going to do now that we don't have any fucking money left? She asks George, like, okay, you're saying you got robbed, whether you lost the money or not, I won't say which it is, but whether you're robbed or
fact is,
or are just a moron,
0's a 0.
Well, what's more plausible? Okay, person goes to a casino and loses $100, which happens, I don't know, 1,000,000 times a day.
Since we started this show,
thousands of people have lost $100. So many thousands of people have lost $100. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that happens all the time. Or the other option is, he's a genius, an MIT-level genius that devised a foolproof, perfect gambling plan that tricked the casinos out of money to the point where they didn't even know they were being tricked, and he left with pockets full of money, but were the complete lack of security. He was rolled in the streets by Hell's Angels for his pockets full of winnings with no one intervening. Even though he was winning a fortune in a casino, that casino didn't say, hey, keep an eye on that guy, offer him a room for the night so he'll lose that fucking money back to us.
Give him the trip out back.
All that stuff that casinos do when you win a bunch of money. None of that stuff. So what are the odds? Which one has better odds of happening? All of those things, or that one thing of him just being a moron and losing $100 in 5 minutes? Stupid. Yeah. And I'm going to bet my foolproof gambling system that I've devised is always bet on idiots being idiots. So I'm going to bet on this guy fucking up. Yeah. That's what I'm going to bet on. I bet I win a lot more than I lose. Just going to say that. If you could bet on people rather than sports and shit, just bet on regular people's lives, we would be so fucking wealthy right now, because I know you're going to fuck up. I believe in no one. If you believe in no one, who turns it around? 1 out of 20 people actually turn it around and do something with their lives if they're like fucking up? Nobody turns it around. It just doesn't happen. Always bet. It's like if there's a football team that's 1 in 5, always bet against the Browns. It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, they might win one week.
You're going to win.
They might not cover.
Overall, you're going to win.
Overall, you're coming out on top. I did that one year in this pool I had. Just bet against the Cardinals every week when they were terrible. And I was like, I won 13 out of 16 games. So go fuck yourselves. That's it right there. So
that's brilliant.
the way to do it. So she asks him, what the fuck are we going to do now? We're out of money. We're in Laughlin. You've lost everything. I'm sorry. Excuse me. You're the most successful gambler in the history of the town, and you were robbed. I apologize. I didn't mean to suggest that you lost the money. He said, what are we going to do? And he tells her, George says, well, we're going to rob Delbert, obviously. I mean, Jesus Christ. What the fuck else are we going to do here?
So that's his plan now.
Well, yeah, duh. Like, how the fuck else are we going to do this? Obviously, he's got money. We don't. Right. We'd like money.
We need to take it from him.
We're going to take it from him. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to get a job. I mean, come on, Lisa. Jesus Christ.
$200.
Lisa. Slow down for a minute here. Listen, sweetheart. He pets her head like a horse. Listen. Like she's the dumb one.
Right.
Yeah.
How stupid are you?
How stupid are, obviously, we'll rob him. Now, her being of, it sounds like at least average intelligence, she says, well, how are we going to get away with robbing someone who you know?
Right.
Because won't he just tell on you and then he knows who you are? Like, you know, like normal fucking people think. Like, you can't just rob a guy you fucking know and have that not have any consequences. That's just stupid.
So we're going to rob him. Yeah. But what's our dismount? How are we getting out of that?
How are we? Do you have a plan to? Are you going to con him out of the money?
It's like a teenager killing her parents. Where are you going after?
Where are you going after that?
Doing?
Yeah. After the baby goes into the dumpster, then what? Right. Then what? How are you going to stop the bleeding? Is what we're getting at. What happens now? So
you don't just tie off an umbilical cord and everything
and start
stops.
Fucking walk away.
Right.
Some of them do. They go right back to the prom.
Yank that
but
shit
this is
out.
Something
There's
here.
a whole lining in there.
There's a bunch of stuff.
There's extra thoughts that have to be done. Is what
also,
we're saying.
It's like when you buy a chicken. There's a lot of shit inside of it that you didn't ask for and you're not going to use, but it's in there. You know.
You mean a turkey
and a chicken? If
really?
You buy a whole chicken. There's gizzards and hearts,
really?
and the neck is in there, just
Jesus
like a turkey. Yeah,
Christ, that's
whole
vile.
chicken. Yeah. We were just making it the other night, and Sarah's like, "Why is this in here? I don't want this.
Why is this all bagged? This is weird."
They don't even bag it. It's just in there.
Oh,
you have
Christ,
to scrape it out. Yeah, you have to get a spoon and scoop it out.
I'm like a fucking Cornish hen.
But on the one hand, they do say whole chicken.
Yeah,
so if it wasn't in there, then again, there are no feet or head. So it's not a whole chicken. So I guess you can leave the fucking heart out. If
Where's
you're not
the
gonna
beak, you lying fuck?
I want the beak. I eat the beak, damn it. I make beak chips and they're delicious.
I pick the chicken out of my teeth with the beak.
It's an old family recipe. You fry up the beaks, they get real tender. They're crispy though, but tender and light. It's like
the tongue is nice to chew on.
It's not bad.
It's like bubble gum.
Poultry tortilla, we call it, and then you got a nice bubble gum afterwards. It's good. It's very good. So George says it's so funny because he didn't think that far ahead. She was like, he lied to Delbert, and then he was like, oh, that'll work. That's no problem. He has magical thinking where he thinks that everything's just going to work.
Yeah.
So he was like, well, we'll rob him. And she's like, well, how are you going to rob a guy you know? And she said he thought about it for a second. Like he was like, And he goes, well, I guess I'll just have to kill him. That's the solution.
Right now, that's what he just came up with.
Yeah, I guess I just have to kill him then.
Yeah, you got a point. Honey.
Yeah, good point. I'll kill him. That's better. Yeah, good point. We'll go back. I'll see if he'll pay for gas money and then I'll get a job. That's not what he said. He said, I guess I'll kill him then if I got. You're right. You know what? You're right, honey. It is. We can't rob a guy we know. That's so fucking stupid. Now I see why I have you. See, because I get carried away with. We got to kill him too. Obviously, that makes sense. So they leave Laughlin on December 2nd. So they were there for 3 days in Laughlin, which sounds god-awful horrible.
And all he lost was $200.
That's all he had.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's not bad. Then he just sat there seething the rest of the time. They leave to return to Arizona from Laughlin there, December 2nd. On the road, while they're on the road, Haas, they're all drinking a little bit, by the way. They're all putting a couple back, while they drive, because that's what you do when you're a hillbilly in 1994.
Yeah.
You're driving a fucking van with a man you're going to kill on the way home from Laughlin.
Better have some drinks.
And you have a criminal record.
Right.
And we can stack it all up again. You have sudden dyslexia. That's an issue. So they're all, but Haas has drank the most alcohol. Delbert's the most shit-faced at everybody. Okay. They're like all drinking, but they're drinking a little slower than Delbert. Like, oh yeah, let's drink. And they'll have one sip for every three of his type of thing there. They're trying to make sure he's good and liquored up. Now they also, this is a fun trip. It's a 3.5-hour ride from Vegas, as we said. That's why I wanted to make sure to get that in.
Yeah.
Because apparently most of the way home as they're driving home, George and Delbert are arguing continually about how George is going to pay Delbert back that $200.
Oh boy!
Like, I don't know what his settlement was for. I don't know if it was for like $700 and he gave him $200 of it or what, but. The whole car ride? What's he going to come up with something over the course of the conversation of a way that he's going to make money now out of nowhere? Obviously, you're not going to get an answer out of him then. Well, how are you going to pay me back? I don't know. Well, how are you going to pay me back? I said I don't know. Well, how are you going to pay me back? Are we going to do this for 3.5 fucking hours, dude? It's a long trip.
That's the point that I'm looking at. 3.5 hours through northern Arizona. Dark as fuck out.
It's
and all
awful.
you hear is an old man in the back seat asking you, how you going to pay me back?
How are you going to pay me back? Where's my money? So they're arguing about it the whole time. And he's saying, I'll pay you back. And he's going, well, how? How are you going to pay me back? You don't even have a goddamn job. Well, how many T-shirts that is? $200?
There's a rest area. Pull over and start blowing people.
I farted in Baghdad, Arizona T-shirts I can get for that. Apparently they had to make a bunch of piss break stops because they're all drinking and Delbert's 63 and drinking, so he's pissing a lot. Also they want to purchase snacks too because you're drinking and you want to eat shit, and so they're getting snacks, or Delbert's buying snacks, I should say. I don't think that they're buying any snacks. Now, at one of the stops, which was in Kingman, they stopped in Kingman, which is on the way back. Kingman is a horrible, horrible town. Just a terrible, awful den of meth just in the middle of the desert. It's in the mountains. It's the worst place. It's so fucking bad.
The Colorado River is close by, which is
That's
cool,
nice. But Kingman itself is a piece of shit. I'm sorry if you're from Kingman, but you know you're making plans to escape. And if you're not, then you're just dead inside. It's horrible there. No one's like, someday I'm going to get to Kingman. It's never been said, ever. They're like, someday I'm going to get out of this fucking place. So they stop in Kingman at one point. Now, when they stop here, they're stopping Kingman, and Delbert goes to piss and I assume buy shit. George takes a gun out from under the seat of his van and puts it in his pants. He had it stored under there the whole time. He puts it in his waistband and he turns to Lisa and asks if she's going to be all right with this. You cool with this? Yeah. Which is, you know what? That is polite. You know, I have to say, how many stories have we covered? Yeah. How many times does one person who wants to kill another person turn to the other person they're with and ask if they're cool with this? It's not often. It's usually they kill the other person. Either it's a plan or that second person had no idea that this first person was going to kill the third person. But
we don't even give that at the beginning of the show. We don't go, are you cool with this? We tell them, get the fuck out of here if you're not.
She said, are you cool with this? Which is super, I got to say, almost polite, honestly.
Almost gentleman.
But if you're asking, are you cool with me shooting an older man for that's not okay at that point.
Cool with me murdering the elderly?
You cool with me murdering this dude who's
right in front of you,
getting Social Security right now? She said, I'm cool, but I do need a warning before you kill him. Like, let me know so I can brace myself. Don't just be like driving along and you pop a fucking cap in his ass and I'll start freaking out.
What's our safe word?
So, what's our safe word here? Jesus Christ. So, turquoise. So
turquoise. It just plugs her ear.
Now George charts a course through the back roads. He says will be a shortcut to Haas's house. When someone who owes you money wants to take you on a quote shortcut through the woods
to your house
of the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night, don't go there. Just go. Let's stick to the main highway, thank you. But the one with the lights on it. This is fuck this.
That's going to be the fastest way. We're going to do 30 down a dirt road.
Let's not. No, shortcut. Big shortcut.
Speed limit's 70. Stay here.
Interstate time. Let's do it. Or whatever the fuck roads are up there. There's some.
Yeah.
So you can go to the 17 and down, or Kingman comes across in the one, whatever the hell it is.
There's all that.
There's all sorts of shit. So anyway, they go through. They're driving through the woods, and I don't know if Delbert's suspicious or not. I don't think so because he's still bitching about the money. He's still talking about the money. So
$200 means a lot to him.
It really. I know in 1994, $200 is more than now. But Jesus, haven't you ever seen a Bronx Tale, dude? Like. That's you got rid of him for the rest of your life now. You never have to deal with this guy again, and it only cost you $200. Like, that's a fucking bargain. You just bought freedom is what you bought from this guy ever borrowing money from you again. He'll avoid you forever. Yeah. He'll never talk to you for the rest of your life if you don't fucking ask him for the money.
I watched Empire Records the other day. The worst fucking plot ever to a movie.
Yeah, it's a pile of shit.
It's $9,000. That's the solution that fixes this whole story.
That's it. $9,000. $9,000 and everything's solved.
Sell your fucking car. That's
Everything solved.
Done.
$9,000.
Solved.
No, but
no story plot if
by the way,
$9,000 is still there.
There are 30 people there. None of those people have like a grandmother who's a little senile and has a bunch of money and won't mind cutting a check. None of these people have any access. None of them have the wherewithal to figure out how to get $9,000. 30 adults are pooled in a room and none of them can figure out how to get $9,000.
There's a 40-year-old manager of the store who wants to own the store. That man with all that promise doesn't have $9,000?
Nothing. He's got nothing.
Nothing doing.
He has no access to anything. So
also, I can't watch that movie with my kids later in life. And I loved that movie because they're not going to understand. Well, you went to a store for what? For iTunes shit?
Yeah,
why did you do that?
They're not going to get that. So they had like vintage stuff. Like it was like old records.
No,
like you bought like,
that's not what it was.
Like they were like $400 each.
No, these were new releases, see?
So they and they bought them and what'd you do with them? How'd you stick them in your phone?
You didn't.
How do you stick a tape in your phone? It's bigger than your phone.
What happened is that you would stick it in your jacket and walk the fuck out. That's what you did. That's why they don't exist anymore.
That's what happened. Okay, yeah. Well, it's easier to steal digital anyway, so perfect. So they're on the road, and he says at one point, George pulls over to piss again. Mm-hmm. It's another piss stop. This is near Camp Wood Road in Yavapai County, and that's why I triangulated this in where it was is basically it's near there, but it's not quite there.
Okay.
Williamson is the closest town. That's why. If anybody has any closer town, sorry, but Williamson it is. So at this point, Delbert exits the van and starts to piss behind it. Yeah. So he's going out to take another drunky old man piss. Yeah. Drunky old man Woods piss. So Lisa also starts to climb out of the van, but George motions to her with the gun to stay in the van and pushes her back into the van. Yeah. He's like,
turquoise.
Shit's going down. Yeah, exactly. Turquoise. Like, oh, sorry. Plugs her ears up. So the van has windows in the rear. It's an old, like a molester van, but it's got the rear windows, the ones with the shitty curtains in them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it has that. And she watches through the back window, which this is another weird thing. If she's really, this is fucking her up, she's not going to watch it probably. Right. Hearing it would be plenty. It's a gun. You're going to know it's when it happened. But she watches. She says that George walked up quietly from behind up to Delbert while he's taking a drunken piss, and put the gun right to his head at point blank range and shot him behind the ear while he was pissing. She said one shot. Delbert fell down
in his own piss,
which is not the way you want to go out.
Poor guy.
Poor fucking guy. Yeah, that sucks.
Jesus.
That's not the way you want to go out.
Over $200.
That's really nice. I don't know Delbert's past, but judging by his age, he might have been a Korean veteran, Korean War veteran, this type of thing, or whatever. Just a guy who's lived a life. Yeah. Now he's going to fucking be shot in a puddle of his own piss, which is not cool. At least he got him drunk first. That's nice. But anyway, that is not nice. So at this point, he shot him in the head, and then he takes Delbert's body and drags him off to the side of the road, and to some bushes, and kind of shoves him into some bushes, basically, just like whoop. And it's dark out, so it's like all gone now. In the daytime it's a little different, but at night. Yeah, I don't see it anymore.
Also, when you drag a lifeless, that is the heaviest shit on earth.
That's going to be a heavy
when they're not helping at all.
No, that's going to be...
it's fucking horrible.
It would probably be easier if someone was fighting back. At least they're not dead weight. It'd probably be easier.
You can maybe use their momentum to shove them in a different direction.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of wrestling around when you're kids with your little brother or something, and it's pull them that way. So he drags him off to the side, throws him in the bushes, which in the dark, he might as well have thrown him down a bottomless pit in the dark, throwing him by the bushes. So he throws him there. He comes back to the car, so Lisa watches this through the window, and then she watches as George comes back to the car carrying Delbert's wallet, watch, and jewelry. Okay. Like he's got all his...
the body.
Stripped him down, got all of his shit, and they get back in the van, and like nothing happened. All right, there we go. Like they got their drive-through order all set, and they got the fries, onion rings too. All right, let's take off. We're going. They drive away in his van. They drive for about 5 minutes, and out of nowhere, George says, "Shit, I forgot to get his keys. Fucking forgot his keys. Damn it." Turns it around.
No.
Slams on the brakes, turns, U-turns the van. This is, by the way, not advisable murder behavior.
No.
If you're looking not to get caught anyway. So he cranks a U-turn on this van, goes back around, has to find the damn keys, and returns to the murder scene, which you want to be seen more than once there. Both of them look for the body, which they have a hard time finding because it's on the side of a dark dirt road. And they're like, did we pull over here or 10 feet up there?
Right.
Which bushes do we throw them in?
Look
It's all
for the
dark.
piss spot.
Yeah, where's the piss spot? And then where's the drag? Probably found them by drag marks, I would think. That would be the easiest way, I would think.
Dead way.
Yeah. So they end up looking for the body. Lisa ends up spotting it, spotting Delbert's body or him, and then returns to the van to tell him like, "Oh, I found the fucking body!
He's
Holy shit!
here.
Yeah, he's right over here." So George comes over. He comes back to the van and asks for the gun. When George goes over, looks at him to go get the keys, and Lisa goes back to the van, and then George comes back and says, "Grab me that gun from out under the seat again." And she said, "Why?" And she goes, "I don't think he's dead."
Oh, boy.
By the way, I don't think he's fucking dead.
He survived a motorcycle accident. He may be
so he said he's not dead back there.
Oh, boy.
So then he goes back there with the gun with Delbert, and Delbert pops up out of nowhere like fucking Tupac and said, "Who shot me? But your punk didn't finish. About to feel the wrath of a man." No, he didn't do that at all.
Jesus.
He didn't do that at all. That would have been amazing though if Delbert popped up and was like, "Bah!" He's throwing Tupac lyrics at him. So no, he pops up and no, he doesn't. He is shot again. Yeah. Sorry, Delbert. But Delbert is shot again in the head by George, and then he feels, first of all, too, after the first one, you think maybe put a couple more in there just to make sure. You're killing him anyway.
If you're driving away right now, just fucking finish it.
You might as well. So
that's the best. That might be the best way to die, though. In the middle of a drunk piss, in the middle of the woods. That feels
if that
so
first shot
good.
got you,
if
though.
that does it.
Yeah,
that's
if
great.
Someone put a 357 behind your head and fucking
so humane
barn doorge your forehead, that would be a decent way to go.
I'll take it.
That's not bad actually, as far as being murdered goes. If you have to be murdered, I guess that's something.
That's fucking grade A, easiest way out.
Yeah. So Lisa says she heard the second shot after he went to go shoot him. Then they get back in the van and they drive. Where do they drive? To their home? No, to Delbert's home.
They went to his house.
Yeah, that's why they got his keys. Yeah. George enters the home. They just start. Like it's a flea market in there. They just start going to town. They steal several guns, a camera, but anything of his property that has any value whatsoever, they steal. They also unsuccessfully attempted to find his bank PIN number in order to get at his bank accounts, but they couldn't figure out his PIN number or find anything. Like they looked through all his paperwork, notebooks, if he had it written down anywhere.
No,
couldn't find it. So they have no way of knowing that, that must have felt like, oh damn it!
You got his license. Look at his birthday.
It's all sitting right there. Try 1, 2, 3, 4, and then try his birthday.
Try 0000.
Hey, it's worth a shot. So Lisa and George at that point sell Delbert's guns and jewelry at pawn shops.
Wow.
And also flea markets. They go to flea markets and sell shit in pawn shops. Over the course of the next week, they do this under aliases, obviously. Aliases of David Flynn and Sharon Hughes are these two. Neither of them named Charlie. Sorry, Jimmy. He sells
very
them.
American.
It's very American. So George and Lisa then after that they sell all this shit and guns and jewelry and make a few bucks off of that. So then they go, this is wonderful, by the way. They say, hey, you know what we should do now? We should go to Vegas.
Oh, no.
Let's go to fucking Vegas, man.
With their pilfered money.
We'll go to Vegas. We have all this money now.
Oh, Jesus.
Now I can, see, with $200, it's not enough of a sample size for my gambling system.
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll take all of this money that we've just, acquired by murdering a man and stealing all of his worldly possessions and selling them at a cheap price. We're going to do that, and we're going to take that and piss that away on my stupid gambling system. Boy. So Lisa has to be like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy, he's killing. I don't want to go to Vegas with an old man. We go to fucking Laughlin with an old man. I don't want to drive back. I don't want to kill him. He's killing him. I don't want to steal shit. He's stealing shit. This has to be a pain in the ass. Now he's going to blow all the money that we finally have on his stupid system. So they go there to test out his gambling system once again. They pay for a room at the Pioneer Hotel
in Vegas,
and they're ready to go. I don't know if it's Vegas or Laughlin where they end up staying. Right. Might be Laughlin; it's cheaper. Now December 3rd, 1994. This is while all this is going on December, because remember they left Vegas, they left Laughlin on December 2nd.
Right.
So December 3rd,
they're already back.
They're back in the next week. They're back. They're stole all his shit, and over the next week sold all his shit off, and then head back to Vegas a week later.
Got it.
Okay. Now December 3rd. We'll go back to then. That's the day after they left Laughlin, when Delbert's been dead for a day.
Right.
Two couples. Now this sounds like a nice outing.
Oh boy.
Two couples are going to the forest to look for Christmas trees. It's like the Griswolds, and it's so sweet. And the two couples together, and like, oh, we're gonna have a nice natural Christmas trees, and this is going to be great. They have their saws with them and everything.
Have you ever done it?
They go out. Yeah, it's terrible.
In northern Arizona, you will never find a tree that looks good.
No, they're all ratty fucking woods trees. They're not
they're
bred
either
for that.
enormous and will never fit in any fucking house.
No.
Or it's a piece of shit.
Or it's a Charlie Brown tree that's half diseased.
It's ridiculous.
Chewed by raccoons.
I tried. I took my kids 1 year, and I was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. Back to Phoenix. We'll buy one in a lot. We'll buy one at Home Depot.
Yeah, it'll be better. You'll like them better. We did it once in New York when I was like 11 or something. I went with somebody who did it, and it was just, I don't know. It's the same thing as picking a tree out of a lot, except you sawed it off at the bottom. It was a Christmas tree farm. It wasn't a fucking we didn't go into the forest on our own. It was a bunch of yuppies walking around looking at fucking Christmas trees with their saw. Like, oh, look, I'm in nature, and they're sawing it down.
On a dude's ranch.
Yeah, it's the stupidest shit ever.
Who's been watering that tree for the past 30 years for this moment?
Yeah, hey,
for you.
Finally. And then you're going to complain it's $70. So
it's $2 a year that it took me to grow that fucking thing.
Son of a bitch.
You cheap bastard.
So these two couples look for Christmas trees. They pull off on a dirt road in Yavapai County to look for Christmas. Let's just pull off in the middle of nowhere. We'll find trees. No, it'll be out there. Oh, it's going to be so cute. We'll take pictures. God. Imagine how many pictures would be on fucking Instagram and Facebook and shit if this happened today with these. We're out here. It'd be everywhere. Look, it's a fucking forest animal of some kind. So they'd be doing that. They'd take their fucking dogs with them. Anyway, these people, rather than find a Christmas tree, they find the corpse of Delbert Haas.
Merry Christmas.
Which is way less fun than finding I assume the afternoon's over at that point.
Yeah.
You know what? We're not
the ride home.
The spirit's over now, right? Like we're not going back next week.
You get a fucking tree, didn't you, Dale?
So we're going to Home Depot now, right? They had the same experience you did for different reasons. If you and your children found the corpse of a 63-year-old man, that shit would be over, I have a feeling, at that moment in
I'm
time.
so sorry, kids. Jesus,
man.
Stay away from him. I don't know how long he's been here.
Jesus. He's been shot twice. Bullet wounds located pretty much behind each ear. Okay. So like some mob execution shit here. Now, that's December 3rd, so they don't know anything about it. They just find this guy laying out there. No wallet, no ID, no nothing. They figure out who he is, but they don't know anything else, where he was, what he was doing. No fucking clue. So, the whole 9 days goes by with while this is happening, they're selling off Delbert shit and all that. And finally, on December 12th, 1994, this is 9 days after Delbert's discovered, Yavapai County detective, a guy named Danny Martin, gets a phone call from a Las Vegas police officer, and this police officer tells Martin that a woman named Lisa Kester approached a security guard at the Pioneer Hotel in Las Vegas, it's in Las Vegas, and said that her boyfriend killed a man in Arizona. Now, she said that a warrant, there was already a warrant out for him for something else, so he's easy to pick up. Not like you have to have all your ducks in a row. Just grab him and you can throw him in jail, and then go with the murder from there. She says that she also gave the Las Vegas police the gun that she said was used to kill Haas.
Oh boy.
That's a .32 caliber. And she said that she also led the cops to credit cards belonging to Delbert that were found inside the white van belonging to George Kayer inside the hotel parking lot.
Wow.
So she is just giving them the whole shit on a silver platter. This is amazing. The police officers and the security guards that were talking to her all said the same thing, that if she appeared agitated, that wow, this is amazing. She said she appeared agitated to them, and she said she'd not come forward sooner because she feared that he would kill her too. But she said that she was super pissed off that that he had blown all the money on his stupid gambling system. That's what she's mad at. She's like, he did this, and then he killed him against my goddamn will, and then we come here, and this son of a bitch is doing this shit, and then he pisses all the money away. We finally have money. We could have paid the rent on time. Do you understand it? For 1 fucking month. 1 month. We could have paid the fucking rent on time. And he's got to gamble it away on his genius system.
The accomplice shit I put up with for the past week. And they're like, and now he's going to do this shit?
Back to the part where he killed a guy first. Let's talk about that. Then we'll get to what a dick he is. Thank you. This isn't marriage counseling. So, she then asked to be placed in the witness protection program. She told the cops what he looked like, and also agreed to go with an officer to the police station to help plan the whole thing out. This was about 10 days after the murder. She then told them she was upset that he gambled all the money away. And when she confronted him about the whole situation and the murder and why did you do all this for nothing and you didn't have to kill people and blah, 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 he said to her, quote, "You sometimes have to kill people to survive."
Is that what it is?
That's what he said. You sometimes have to kill people to survive.
I've survived 37 years.
Never killed anybody.
Not one.
Never, not one. You sometimes have to kill people to survive. But the fucked up part is she's going to the cops. They didn't pick her up and then she spilled the beans. She's like a drug dealer that got robbed by Omar and is now going to the fucking cops to complain about it. Like indignant as shit too. Like, he stole my shit. No, I want a full report on all the heroin capsules. He stole so much heroin, and the cocaine, I don't even want to get into it. My losses are just ridiculous. Like, that's what she's doing now. You can't do that. It's all in the game, sweetheart. You can't. If you're going to be a murder accomplice, the guy might not be the best gambler. Like, sorry.
He's probably not good at much,
It really doesn't seem like he is, and we'll talk about it later.
That's why you resort to murder.
We'll talk about some things he thinks he's good at later. Okay. But so they end up spotting George, leaving the hotel. They arrest him. They take him to the police station for questioning. Lisa had already been arrested for carrying a concealed weapon. She gave them the .32 caliber, and they arrested her for carrying a concealed weapon. She said, "Here's the murder weapon that he used," and they said, "Oh, well, you're under arrest because you had that in your pocket."
You just pulled that out of your fucking waistband.
So that's kind of funny. Yeah. Now, what was she supposed to do? Walk up to the security desk, waving it around in the air? I got a 30. I mean, Jesus Christ. So detectives from Yavapai County flew to Las Vegas on December 13th. They found some shitty small airport in the middle of nowhere up there on December 13th to interrogate George and Lisa. Lisa gave a complete account of the events leading up to Haas's death. Everything we just said pretty much is what she told them. George, on the other hand, spoke briefly with detectives, and as soon as they started asking about murder shit, he invoked his Miranda right and said, "I want a goddamn attorney."
Really?
So, which is smart
he is
on
very
his part.
Smart.
That's good. So he does that. She gets arraigned finally, and she is held on a $167,000 bond for Lisa. Now, December 29th, 1994, a Yavapai County grand jury indicts both Lisa and George, both of them with premeditated first-degree murder, felony first-degree murder, armed robbery, residential burglary, theft, trafficking in stolen property, and conspiracy. That's a lot.
She's like, no, you guys don't get it. He spent all the money.
So it's his fault
it's clearly
now.
Not me.
So now I'm not involved anymore. Right. I got mad at him and told on him, so now I'm cool, right?
You guys don't have this case
That's how
without
it works
me.
now, yeah.
So,
I'm cool. It's fine. It's all good.
I'm just going to go home.
So I'll be seeing you guys now. 106, don't worry about it. So February of 1995, the state attorney files a notice that he will be seeking the death penalty against both of them.
Oh, Jesus.
Both of them seeking the death penalty. Now, it's going to be I don't see a jury in the war, or a judge in Arizona. It's not the jury, it's the judge. Right. I don't see a judge on earth giving her the death penalty.
You don't?
No.
Not even in Arizona?
Not a woman. If it was a man, yes.
Yeah.
That's one thing that women get a leg up on in society. If you're getting any advantages, here's one of them. Yeah. It's that you're less likely to be sent to death. You just are.
Enjoy 70 cents on the dollar.
That's the trade-off. Right. But that's what it is. It's you are much less like. You have to do some seriously horrific shit to show you're a depraved fucking animal before they'll put a woman to death row.
The only ones here, I think, are one murdered her husband in
a terrible way.
Well, that one's not even death.
Okay,
she got life.
But it's tough here. Yeah,
I think there's 2 on death row in Arizona. One of them murdered her fucking kid.
That's
in
what I mean.
Horrible.
That's what I'm saying. It's
way.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
Those are the people. Those are the women, or your Eileen Wuornos, or your Carla Faye. Like all that shit. It's not usually someone who was standing by while her boyfriend killed somebody else. That's
the other one murdered her husband who was in a fucking wheelchair.
That's that's some aggravating. Aggravating both legally and literally circumstance. Yeah, that'll make a judge go, "You son of a bitch,
you bitch."
But you look at a woman who's 28 and her boyfriend's a 40-year-old scumbag and he shot somebody, and you're like, she wouldn't have done this on her own. She wouldn't have thought to do this. She shouldn't have gone along with it, but she also wouldn't have thought to do it. But it gives you, if you're the state, goddamn the leverage it gives you with her. Yeah. You don't want to testify. Okay, well, we're going to put you up for the death penalty then, even though you sat in the van. And
you didn't realize we're in fucking Arizona.
That makes people talk usually, and it made her talk. September 1995. She enters a plea agreement with the state. This plea agreement required her to verify all previous statements made about her, that they were truthful, and also require her to, quote, appear at any proceedings, including trial, upon request of the state and testify truthfully to all questions asked. Yeah. So pretty fucking basic shit. She got like a mob deal of she's going to flip on her boss here, and that's what's going to happen here.
Singing sugar.
Yeah, absolutely. It mandated that she quote, cooperate completely with the state of Arizona in the prosecution of George. And it also allowed the state to dishonor the agreement, to renege on the agreement if she violated any term or condition, which is all normal shit, all very normal. In return for this, she was charged with facilitation to commit first-degree murder, facilitation to commit residential burglary, and facilitation to commit theft/trafficking in stolen property. They're class 5 and 6 felonies and are way less significant in penalty than your first-degree murders and your, all of that shit.
Premeditated
and your
murder.
Conspiracy to commit murder and your premeditated and your residential burglary and all that type of shit. Those are real harsh. Yeah. Those have some stank on them.
That stings a little.
Premeditated murder's got some English on that shit.
That screams long sentence.
That's a tough one here. Also, they examined the .32 caliber pistol she handed over. They recovered 2 bullets and expended cartridges from there. They compared them they did a ballistics thing, and they said that the pistol matched that one, so the bullets match up. So now they have ballistics, eyewitness identification. He's all sorts of people saying that he sold them all sorts of this guy's shit. Right. It's a pretty strong case, I would say, at this point. Court shit going on here. As the trial date approached, and after the state's attorney and George's original court-appointed attorney, they already were engaged in a bunch of pretrial shit that was going on, okay? They're already doing flurries of, briefs and all that shit, motions. And at that point, George decided he didn't like the attorney anymore and just refused to cooperate with him anymore. He just said, I'm not talking to you anymore. Just no.
Not you.
Nope. But I'm trying to defend you and keep you from dying.
No thanks.
Nope. Just don't like you. Okay? Real good guy here. Yeah. So the trial judge at that point was forced to appoint a new counsel for him, which delayed the trial nearly a year, because then the new counsel, you have to give him a shitload of time to get all caught up on everything, figure out his own briefs and his own things he can do and have his own angle and strategy on it. And it's a whole thing. This basically broke down to the first lawyer was Linda Williamson. She was appointed to him. She had 5 years of significant experience in criminal law.
Did you say Williamson?
Williamson, yeah,
that's
exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Linda Williamson, perfect. She's like, yeah, I know, it's me. Yeah, that's fine. She also had never tried a capital murder case though, so that's tough. So Williamson asked a guy named James Bond, who was in.
What?
James Bond, yes. James.
The fuck is going on here?
Of course, if you're going to have to hire an attorney, you hire James Bond. I feel like that's the best thing we can do here. So they hired James Bond, who is literally an experienced criminal attorney, to serve as the second chair. He would be focusing on mitigation and sentencing because they know this fucking guy's going to get convicted. Right. There's no way out of it. They said that Bond's actual involvement in the case was minimal because obviously he's a very busy man.
He was just there for the pussy.
He's there for the pussy. He banged Linda Williamson and Lisa Kester, and then he went back somewhere else and did some other shit.
He was shaking and stirring martini.
Yeah. So Williamson, the original lawyer, filed a bunch of pretrial motions, including one that requested a Rule 11 pre-screening psychiatric evaluation, and the court appointed Dr. Daniel Barack Wasserman. Okay, it sounds like Mad Libs. At this point, the names, so these are directly out of Arizona fucking court records. This is not like some silly Onion article. This is real. The attorney James Bond wanted Daniel Wasserman. What are you seeing? Not a guy whose middle name is Barack, right? Not at all.
How funny is that?
Especially
so
not
Barack
now.
and a Wasserman. Where's Schultz?
Now there's little kids that are Barack Wasserman because people that, but not in 1995. No. Who the fuck named their kid Daniel Barack Wasserman in 1990? Fucking wow. Okay, so sorry.
Jewish guy with a black guy
That's
first name.
The weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. So,
but he went by Barry. You know he did.
Well, Daniel. He went Danny. Dr. Danny.
Right.
So the court appointed him. He found that George did not suffer from any mental illness or defect, and he found him competent to stand trial. So they said he does not appear to suffer from any any mental illness or defect. He found that Kayer understood the nature of the proceedings against him and was able to assist in the defense. He did diagnose him with dysthymic disorder. I don't know what that is, and a rule out diagnosis. Like he said, he's not a paranoid personality disorder. He doesn't. None of the shit that makes you not criminally responsible. None of he doesn't hear voice, doesn't disassociate. He doesn't do any of that shit, and all of that stuff here. Now, George contends that Linda Williamson didn't do her job right. He said she, quote, utterly failed to provide the evaluating doctor with any information relevant to her client's competency or his social, psychological, or medical history. They said that the counter to that, the lawyer's counter, was, quote, George Kayer provides no support for his contention at the time at the pretrial proceedings in his case. Said he's full of shit. We tried to help this fucking guy. He doesn't fucking cooperate. And then he says he doesn't want to deal with me anymore. What the hell do you want from me? This Williamson investigated leads, interviewed witnesses, did all the shit to defend a murderer in a murder trial, and concluded that the case would be fucking impossible to win, and her best option would be delay. Right. And we'll tell you why in a second. She hoped that Lisa Kester, because she's pregnant with his child and all this,
change her mind.
She thought that, she said either that or she figured that she would probably start using drugs again. If she got out on bond, would start using drugs again, take off, and not be available to testify. She's like, if we give Lisa time, she'll fuck up and go off on the win. Literally, that's what it was. Like,
she was betting like you were.
She was. She was literally betting on a human being to destroy her life and ruin that of her newborn child as well.
Amazing.
That's what she was betting on. She's like, if we wait a while, she'll go off on the fucking lamb on drugs. You know that shit's going to happen. So this is what a sad group we're dealing with here.
That's their Hail Mary.
That's their Hail Mary. And then, hey, at that point,
hey, all bets are off.
Hey, she said that, but she was the one with the gun. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody's word but his to say that, or hers to say it, and she's not there. So June 1996, he seeks to remove Williamson and replace her with James Bond as lead counsel, because who fucking wouldn't?
Fuck yes.
You want James Bond.
You don't. This is fucking incredible. Any chance that you get to be defended by James Bond, you take it. I don't care if he's the worst. I don't care if he's got.
It's still pretty cool.
You get those midday.
It's my lawyer, James Bond.
Lawyers. I don't care. Cool. No. James Bond.
That's cool shit.
That's my guy.
That's fucking amazing. The court allowed her to withdraw and directed Bond to remain as second chair because he said, I'm too busy to do this shit. I'm not going to be the main guy. And they appointed another guy as lead counsel. By the time this guy, David Stoller, had been appointed, he'd been practicing criminal law for 30 years as both a prosecutor and a defense attorney, had taken 50 felony cases to jury trial, including more than one capital case. This is the guy you want defending you in a murder trial you're you're going to lose. He knows how to make it whatever. In August, the trial allowed James Bond to withdraw. He's like, I have way too much pussy to go get. Sorry. And they gave him another goddamn lawyer. This guy had like 2 years. He had less than 2 years experience as a lawyer that they gave him. Yeah. So now he's got an old man and a young guy. He's got a real like buddy cop movie situation going on here. So January of 1997, the defense filed numbers of motions to get applications for funds to investigate shit, because you have to apply to be able to investigate your side if you're a public, you've got a public defender. Mm-hmm. So also they ended up giving them money for that, but the judge deferred ruling on funds related to mitigation. He's already trying to get mitigating circumstances, and he hasn't even been found guilty yet. Yeah. So they're like, why don't you be convicted first, and then we'll see if we'll give you money to figure out how big of a piece of shit you are.
Somebody's really telling him this shit's over.
Yeah, that's right the thing. Away. Well, what they end up doing because of what they dropped Lisa's charges to, they also have to drop his conspiracy charge. Really? Because if they dropped her conspiracy charge, and who is he conspiring with? You know what I mean? So if he's conspiring with your witness and she's not charged with conspiracy too, that seems wrong. So it doesn't matter too, because you have all sorts of murder. So they end up doing that. Now, one juror was excused as a result of the death disqualification questioning. Okay. This juror, what they'll do is they'll ask you, and this is the thing, the jury isn't responsible in Arizona for giving the penalty. The judges. So the jury, all they're doing is knowing that they're convicting you and knowing there's a chance the judge could give you the death penalty.
Got it.
They're not saying, can you yourself write down death, I'm going to kill this fucking guy on a piece of paper. That's a lot more responsibility than just to go, I'll say he's guilty, and then it's in the judge's hands. It's not my fucking problem. So most people here are like, yeah, I can figure it out. It's fine. Even if they're not death penalty proponents, are like, well, it's not me giving it to him. So whatever. Right. But this person kind of is confused about the whole thing and not... I just wanted to have this in here because it's kind of weird, because we've had questions about this before, about jurors and whether they believe in the death penalty or not. People send me very intricate, detailed questions sometimes, and this was one. Yeah, don't send those to Jimmy, because he's going to go, what the fuck are you talking about?
So thankful I get dog pictures.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Oh, it's so much more entertaining.
The judge says to this juror, so we're talking about whether or not you had any personally held beliefs, philosophical opinions, or religious convictions that would get in the way of or make it difficult or impossible for you to be fair and impartial as a juror, knowing that the death penalty was a possibility. Okay. And the juror said, quote, yes, that would be, I would have reservations about an action in which the death penalty might be imposed or could be imposed. And the judge said, and it would get in your way then being a fair and impartial juror as the process continued. He's trying to get a yes or no. Yeah. Let's move this shit along. So this juror says, it might. And then he goes, again, depending on what how much of a factor became evidence in testimony and what you have, then I don't know. So he's really waffling. And the judge says, okay, like slowly. And then the juror says, but it would not be a hands down opposition to the death penalty as such, he says. But I could do it. So the judge says, I understand what you're saying. And of course, at this point, we're looking for whether or not you can work in this trial as a fair and impartial juror to both the defendant and the state. Juror says, I understand. Judge says, okay, let me try it this way, which means you're an idiot.
Right.
Hey, idiot. Let me see if you understand English if I say it like this. To what you know right now, knowing your personal opinions and beliefs and what you know the job of the juror to be, because this is a possibility of a death penalty case at this point, would you like me to excuse you from jury duty in this case? You cannot get any more clear than that.
Are you trying to get out of this shit?
What do you want from me? And the juror then says, I think that would probably be fair to the state and to the defense, both really, since that reservation is honestly held. And the judge said, okay. And then the juror says, I'm going to accept what you tell me. I'm going to thank you for spending now a day and a half with us and putting up with us in all of our questioning. And I'm going to excuse you from the juror with our sincere appreciation. Have a good one, you confusing, time-wasting asshole. So
we'll put you back in the hopper to get you back in here for 4 more years.
In a less complicated case. We'll get somebody stole some shit from a store or something. We'll get you in here for that. Or traffic trial. So at trial, the defendant's entire case here, George's whole case, is centered on the fact that he says Lisa killed Delbert, not him. Okay. Lisa went out while he was pissing and put 2 behind his ear, which seems really as likely as him winning all that money and then being robbed as soon as he leaves the casino.
The problem with that is that she has no reason. You know what I mean?
There is no reason.
There's nobody that has a reason other than him.
Especially with his history of scumbaggery. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. And then he's also saying now she's trying to frame me for murder. This girl's out of control. She's killing people, robbing them, then trying to frame innocent people. She's a fucking menace. Get her off the streets.
Is there, do you think, a possibility that somebody was framed for murder like, not just like,
it happens,
not to get away with it themselves or to get
just out of revenge,
just as a fucking joke?
As a joke? I don't know about as a humorous joke, but I guarantee you Scientologists have framed somebody sitting in jail for murder right now.
You're probably right.
I guarantee you they
and
have.
They're just sitting back laughing.
Yeah, so if I'm ever like arrested for murder, it's the Scientologists that are pissed off for me saying this. So keep an eye out for that. I didn't fucking do it.
It was Tom
I promise.
Cruise.
It was Tom Cruise.
It was Kirstie Alley.
And that other fucking Miscavige weirdo. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, Scientologists.
I'm just I think that has for sure happened. That somebody did it as a joke and think it's fucking hilarious that somebody's in there.
I'm sure they have. It can't not have happened at that point. So
just with the system that we have, it happened.
It had to have happened. Yeah, just all you need to do is drum up 2 witnesses, and you don't even have to have any evidence. You can convict somebody. So Lisa testifies, obviously, to what we told you before, she said, and George testifies, too, on his own behalf.
Oh, boy.
He is indignant, boy. He is. You're kidding me? You got to be kidding. It was all her. Yeah. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. This is bullshit. Did I ever show you my article for the NRA? I could have been a genius, Stephen King. Shockingly, after all that evidence and his only defense being she did it, the jury convicts him of all fucking charges.
Boy.
All charges, guilty of first-degree murder under both premeditated and felony murder theories. So he is fucked with a capital F is basically what that means. Lisa testified that he also, she said he took his house keys after the murder, entered the home, stole everything. The whole fucking thing she laid out in detail. Also, they had pawn shop receipts, witness testimony establishing that, the whole thing of every step. They basically made a timeline and a map of then he went here and sold this gun, and then he went here and sold that necklace, and then he went here and did that. It's ridiculous. Overwhelming evidence plus an eyewitness, kind of difficult.
It's a problem. They
also presented forensic evidence with the ballistics and all that shit. Guilty of all charges. Now, after that, he says, after he's found guilty, he says that he wants to expedite the sentencing process. He wants to get this shit over with.
Now kill me.
Get it over with. Do whatever you got to do, but do it fucking fast, all right? I got places to go, people
Speedy
to fucking
trial.
see. I'm writing a novel. So the judge schedules conferences for pretty close, about 7 weeks after the trial ended, which is pretty fast. He agrees to continue, George does, the initial sentencing conference because they continue it until June 6th. They delay it for like a month. And he's pissed off, but he's like, all right, fine. Yeah. He agrees reluctantly to allow a court-appointed mitigation specialist, Mary Duran, to begin working with him. This is a person that can keep him from being killed in the state by the death penalty. They had an aggravation mitigation hearing scheduled for June 24th of 97 with sentencing July 8th. And this woman, the specialist, wanted to interview him, his family members, and others in order to discover genetic, physical, and or psychological impairments that might explain George's behavior, thus provide mitigating evidence that might affect whether the death penalty or life sentence should be imposed. All fair shit that you should probably be doing in this thing. And after she explained that to him in a very rational, calm way that made a lot of sense, and anybody would want to do, he refused to cooperate completely, told her to go fuck herself, and said, I'm not talking to you, bitch, and then walked away.
I thought you wanted this expedited, man.
No, I do, just not with you, because I'm an uncooperative asshole. Okay. So they had the sentencing conference. His lawyer, George's lawyer, said that the Duran woman wanted at least 90 more days to evaluate him since he won't talk to her. Right. So it's going to take a while. He says, fuck that. I want to proceed immediately. I don't want to work with this fucking lady, and I'm not talking to her, and let's keep going. So the judge says that he's competent. And if he wishes to proceed and doesn't want to do that, he's been judged as competent to go through, so it's up to him. It's his fucking funeral, quite literally.
Yeah.
So they said, fine, let's go. So they move it all along. They ask him again, are you sure you don't want more time to look into this? And he said, fuck no. Let's do this shit. No matter how long sentencing was delayed, he will not cooperate with her. 10 years I won't cooperate with this fucking lady. So they go on with it. July 15th, 97 in sentencing. He has competency claimed on, this is funny. Some of the shit he says. First of all, his mitigating factors we'll get into in a second, but one of them is hilarious. One of them is that he's too smart. First of all, he uses intelligence as a mitigating factor, but the wrong way.
Okay.
You use intelligence as a mitigating factor when you're too stupid to know that what you're doing is wrong,
right,
or too stupid to assist with your defense,
right, or
too stupid to do anything. This guy says he's so smart. That's a mitigating factor because he could do a lot in society with a brain like his. That's a mitigating factor.
You telling me he dyslexicked it?
Yeah, a little backwards. Don't kill me because I have a lot to contribute to society, like my long criminal record punctuated with a vicious murder. Everybody needs me out there.
Unbelievable.
Then at one of his preliminary hearings for sentencing, he says that he had a heart attack. He has a chance to speak at one point. George says he had a heart attack 2 months before Haas's murder. And he says, oh boy, buckle the fuck up. Because I normally don't give people's whole, soliloquy of their bullshit, the murderers. But when it's crazy, I can't not tell you exactly what he said. In a court of law, mind you. I guess he's trying to, he says this is him saying about why he doesn't want to cooperate and he just wants to expedite sentencing. Yeah. This is him trying to plead his point here. Quote, I think one of the points that needs to be brought out in all this is that none of us know what is right. One of the things that God didn't instill in human beings is the ability to judge. We can't see around the corner. I think that an example of this is to be found in the Bible, where it says that every hair on your head is counted. I've been grabbed by the balls and drug here by destiny, and I don't know what's going to be around the corner any more than anybody else here does, but I think it's important to the court that the court understands just a little of where I'm at and hear it from me instead of a specialist or the counsel or the pre-sentence report lady. And that's really all I have to say. Thank you. Okay, now that...
I like to quote the Bible. Now, I was drugged by the balls.
He quoted the Bible in one sentence and then said, I've been grabbed by the balls and drugged here by destiny, which sounds like a Joe Dirt line. That sounds like a line David Spade and Joe Dirt would have said. I've been grabbed by the balls and drugged here by destiny. Or something that one of the wild and wonderful whites of West Virginia would say. Hank III would say that. That is an
incredible quote.
That's an amazing quote. Oh, it gets better. At another hearing, this is 2 days later, he addresses the court after all the aggravating mitigating evidence has been presented. They said, do you have anything to say for yourself at the end of this?
Yes, I do.
He said, absolutely. Stood right up and he says,
this mic on?
Okay. Quote, I've been convicted of a murder, premeditated, a murder to rob the people of Arizona through their laws, say perhaps I should be murdered, premeditated by the state, an eye for an eye, the death penalty it's now called. He's getting philosophical.
Yeah.
He said, that kind of amazes me because I've lived in a dorm full of men for 2 years, 9 months, and it's rare to see them agree on anything, even as bad as the food is. I have to ask myself, what reason could I possibly have that 70% of the people would understand? What reason did I have for that? 16 jurors found me guilty. What reason did I have for the judge passing sentence on me? I didn't have one. I had a lot of reasons. What the fuck is he talking about? It gets this gets weirder. This goes somewhere. Trust me.
I didn't have a reason. I have a lot of reasons.
I had a lot of reasons, but I was seeking something deeper, something profound yet simple, something that would reach the very center of the people involved. 4 days ago, I still didn't have one. And the reason that I was seeking, I haven't been able to sleep very well lately. And I awoke about an hour into the 4th of July, restless, still wondering what I would say or do on this very day. They're like, will you fucking get to it? He then says, this is the point he's getting to. So I reached over and picked up the Bible. I don't read the Bible a lot, but I was given the reason. It was profound and simple, and astonishingly, from the very source of the people of Arizona, find an eye for an eye. This source is, of course, the Old Testament, Deuteronomy 19. But before I reached the verse 21, an eye for an eye, I asked you to back up and look at verse 15. He is going off. And I quote, "One witness shall not rise up against a man, but by the mouths of 2 or 3 witnesses the matter shall be established." So what he's saying is, one bitch who I was fucking ain't enough to say I did shit. You need a bunch more motherfuckers to say I fucking did it before I fucking did it. That's in redneck translation. I speak redneck.
Meanwhile, he said 16 jurors. Is that true?
Well, the 4 alternates.
Oh, okay. All
then
right.
it gets worse, okay? He said, he gives that Bible quote. Then he says, "Beware of one witness wherein the source the people use. Beware of one witness that would lie or, excuse me, that would die if she didn't lie. Beware of one witness who was in her pre-sentence report on page 9 said she spent all her thousands of money that she received on drugs before she met me, then lied during the trial saying I gambled away $4,000 or $5,000 of her money." Wow. Beware of one witness that offered to sell her soul to Detective Dan Martin for $100 a week in an apartment until the trial, but only after the tape recorder was turned off. Did she say that? She didn't know the video camera was running in the video room. On March 13th, 1997, 10,000 people in Arizona saw 7 UFOs over Phoenix. 11 people came forward with a videotape, and the government says it didn't happen. Yet one witness, one ex-drug addict, one witness staring down the barrel of a death penalty herself, but is getting probation. One witness is good enough for the government to kill me. Somebody needs to wake up and change the channel, because there's definitely something wrong with that picture. There's one other thing I'd like to say, and that's that I really regret not going to the authorities when this initially happened. Thank you. That's the only thing he needed to say.
The amount of numbers in that was incredible.
Okay. Out of all that shit he said, all he needed to say was, "I really regret not going to the authorities when this initially happened. Yeah. Thank you." Yeah. None of the other shit. They're all sitting there going, what the fuck is he? He's comparing biblical shit to his situation.
And he's bringing up the Phoenix Lights.
He's bringing up the Phoenix Lights, saying, "Oh, there's videotape and 10,000 people saw it, but nobody believes them. But one drug addict piece of shit can call me a goddamn thing, and then you fucking gonna kill me. God damn it."
Can't believe he didn't bring up the Hale Bopp comic.
No shit. This is insane. So he has his own logic. I'll say that about him. So, Jesus Christ. For sentencing, the judge said that the state established 2 aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt, the previous conviction of a serious offense, which is a first-degree burglary conviction. Right. Also, committing the murder for monetary gain is another reason. He said that they found no statutory mitigating factors, and found the presence of only one non-statutory mitigating factor, which is that he says that he is very important in the life of, quote, one of his children.
Who's one?
So Junior, presumably. Yeah. So the judge says, yeah, that's great and all, but not quite enough of a mitigator. He offered 7 mitigating circumstances, as a matter of fact. George did. He's one was intoxication, causing an inability to appreciate the wrongfulness of his conduct. 2, intoxication not rising to the level of establishing the statutory mitigator. 3, his military record. I was in the service. Yeah. Good God, I've served this country. I can kill whoever the fuck I want. I can kill any old man on the side, any highway I feel like.
You telling me I can go to another country, kill everybody there, but when I come back, I can't kill one?
I can't kill one old man for a few bucks? Who gives a shit? He was sick anyway. So, 4, the disparity in sentences between him and her, George and Lisa. Well, because it's your idea, you pulled the trigger. There's a lot of reasons for that.
And she
went to the cops. He says his poor health, which we haven't established even if he did have that heart attack or not. Also, his intelligence and ability to contribute to society, and his devotion to his youngest child. Okay. All the others can go fuck their mothers, but the youngest one, whatever. And the judge says, after weighing aggravating and mitigating factors closely, he decided, you, sir, may fuck off. Death penalty for you.
Oh, boy.
You're getting the death penalty. Yeah. Death sentence, finding that failing to cooperate with, he told him this too, failing to cooperate with the Duran pre-sentencing lady, as you called her, he hampered his own ability to present mitigating evidence that might have reduced his sentence to life imprisonment. So he basically said, because you're such an uncooperative idiot douchebag, you're going to fucking death penalty. If you would have just not been an asshole for 5 minutes, everything would have been fine.
Because you're so not smart. When you accuse yourself of being just brilliant, off the charts, can contribute to society.
Mitigating factor brilliant.
Right.
That's if you kill Thomas Edison, none of it, we're not going to have light. Like, that's how fucking, no.
Oh, boy.
Mid-World War II Einstein. No. This is death penalty for first-degree murder and felony murder. 35 years in prison for armed robbery and trafficking in stolen property. 25 years in prison for the residential burglary charge. And just under 6 years for the theft charge. All sentences were aggravated and consecutive, which doesn't matter because you have a death penalty, except for the theft charge, which they ordered to be served concurrently with the trafficking and stolen property, but consecutive to the residential burglary. So not all together. May 1999, George's mother dies.
Oh, no.
So that's, bad for her, but fuck him because he's going to be sad. So good. She dies. I feel bad for her, but not him. 2000, he is denied an appeal. The U.S. Supreme Court denies his appeal without comment.
They got nothing to say about it. Fuck it.
We'll talk about the habeas one in a minute real quick, but that's the one that's interesting. But he had a few appeals here, and he tried to go up to the Supreme Court, and they heard it and literally just said no with no comment. How frustrating does that have to be?
Turn their chairs back around.
All the way to the Supreme Court, and they go, no. You go, but why? And they go, no.
No comment.
And they just be gone, shoo you off. In 2005, some of this shit starts where he wants habeas relief. He's talking about that juror now, saying that juror should not have been excused. That was somebody that, should have been on the jury. All sorts of shit going on with that. They delay 2007. A judge delays his execution. Gives him a stay because of the habeas appeal that he's got going on. In 2007, he says that a few things. He says the main thing is his attorneys were incompetent. He says that the attorney failed to conduct an immediate and thorough investigation and failed to seek funds for expert witnesses. He claims that if they would have right away gone to the casino video, he literally says you could have gotten casino surveillance footage from there and might have been able to obtain evidence showing that George and Lisa didn't, as she testified, visit Bucky's Casino after the murder, which is in Prescott.
Yeah, it is.
Bucky's Casino. I've been there before, actually. It's a piece of shit in the mountains. She said that would show to show that she's a liar, because a lot of his other shit is saying that.
Did you do comedy there?
No.
Okay.
Fuck no.
All right.
God damn it, no. I'm not driving up there to do
god-awful comedy show.
Fuck
there.
no. I stopped there, I forget we were on the way back from somewhere. Want to stop
Remember
there?
That mountain
not
scumbag?
really.
There was that mountain scumbag from Prescott that tried to book comedy shows.
Oh, yeah.
Turd nugget.
Yeah, that little douchebag. Yeah. Told him to fuck himself. Yeah. So he was a bit of a dick to me and told me that shit.
Prescott cunt.
So he's saying that this video would have shown that she was a liar, completely exonerating him. Yeah. Because she might have mistaken one casino in the middle of nowhere for a different casino in the middle of nowhere. They obviously, the state obviously says it's speculative to posit that this video would change the entire course of everything else that we've presented, and the court agrees with that. Also says the medical examiner says that this is so weird that the trial counsel didn't use their own medical examiner for autopsies enough, because the fact that she testified, this is so silly, according to Lisa, that George was standing, quote, right behind Delbert when he was shot, when George fired the first shot. And George argues that an independent pathologist would have informed them that the bullet came from a significantly left angle, entering almost horizontally rather than from directly behind. That would have shown what a liar she is, because in the dark, she misjudged the angle of a gunshot in the dark. Out the back of a van while you're petrified. Right. So, I was a foot over this way, so she's a fucking liar, obviously. Did I mention what a drug addict she is? They talk about her in the Bible. I can read this to you. Holy fuck. Also, ballistics experts saying that they didn't have their own ballistics experts look at it, and they should have. And it's a fucking, it's two grooves and a right. It is what it is, man. Yeah. That's one of those things. Medical examiner for certain things, they see different things, but ballistics are pretty much ballistics. It's not
cut and dry.
There is some art
shit
to it, but not as much as like anything else.
It's pretty. I mean,
yeah,
it's very, very established that ballistics evidence is pretty. It's pretty solid, almost as solid as DNA.
Yeah,
it's very, very good evidence.
And the examiner said that the original examiner said one cartridge case and one bullet definitely were fired from the pistol, and he couldn't identify or eliminate the other one because of damage. Okay. So but
the other one,
pretty honest. Yeah, one of them was. So whatever. But then there was another one who did a re-examination of the reanalysis, and he said that there was different weights to the bullets. This guy, which was weird, but noted trace evidence on the cartridges, so that might have affected the weight. So basically, this guy had the same thing, but they're trying to use this one little thing, this one little ballistic difference where he said the weight was slightly different. This other examiner to say that this isn't right. It's really
the bullet's damaged. The integrity of it's ruined. You can't.
It's ridiculous.
Weigh it to know that it's a different weight.
Yeah. So they tell him to go fuck himself. In October 2009, his first habeas deal is put aside. Now, basically, you have to have, once your shit's exhausted, you have to have reasons to file habeas shit, because it's like, for relief, post-conviction relief stuff. 2014, Arizona halts executions. They had 116 people on death row when that happened. The last one they executed was in July of 2014, a guy named Joseph Wood, and they fucked it up bad. His execution took 2 hours.
Did it really?
I don't care what you did. You can't torture people for 2 fucking hours, man. You can't do that.
That guy.
No, there's a lot, but as a state, we can't do that. We're no better if we're torturing people for 2 hours. That's not what you want to. That's not what I want to teach my kids. When someone does something, we put them in a room and torture them for 2 hours.
I can't remember.
That's good because we're nice people.
Killed a real estate agent.
We're the good people.
Yeah, we're the good people. Jab the shit out of your arm for 2 hours.
So this 2 hours, Jesus Christ, they were experimenting with they didn't even have a thing.
No,
this is what I mean. They weren't like, oh shit, this thing that's worked every time for 100 years didn't work all of this stuff. We shot him right in the head and he's still alive. It's so weird. That wasn't it. The state was experimenting with a combination of drugs that didn't work quickly and effectively.
It's not a good word to be using at an execution.
We're going to fuck around a little. We're going to freestyle a little. Hold on a minute. No.
We're just going to wing this one.
Yeah.
Just going to go out there and have fun with this.
We're going to see how it goes. I'm just going to see how it goes.
I'm going to throw my set list out.
Let's do some crowd work, man. I'm just going to do a little crowd work with your veins. Is that cool? Is that all right? I have some stuff I want to talk about. Yeah. See if it leads into any jokes.
Some topical things. I want to talk about what happened in the news this week.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, that's fucking bad. So after that, a group of inmates filed a federal suit and they halted executions. A reporter who witnessed that execution said that it was, quote, very disturbing to watch, like a fish on a shore gulping for air. At a certain point, you wondered whether he was ever going to die. That is fucking horrific. That's terrible shit. We can't do that as a state. We got to at least figure out how to kill people efficiently. It's not that fucking hard. It's really not. People are fragile. 2 hours. This guy, it's crazy. The victim's family, though, didn't mind so much.
No, I'm sure they did.
They said that it seemed like he wasn't even conscious after the first few minutes. That the noises that everybody else said was struggling and gasping, they said sounded like snoring to them. So they're okay.
I do remember them saying that.
Yeah, which it's kind of shitty, but I get it. I get where you're coming from. That's fine. So George is in prison. Guess what he's doing?
What?
Writing books like a motherfucker.
Get out of here.
In 2000, he
shook it off.
He read a copy of Plain Text by Nancy Mayers, and he said it was the spark that reignited his interest in writing. Determined to beat dyslexia, he learned how to spell and construct proper sentences at age 46, and he was submitting articles to prisoner publications and being published in prison shit.
How proud of you of that, Nance. For fucking helping this guy through it.
Jesus Christ. There's a whole statement on I'm not going to read this whole statement, but basically he says that it's really weird, and he throws some Buddhist shit in there, and not that that's weird, but the way, the context of it is super weird, and he says that prison life isn't bad, and he's happy, and people think it's so horrible, but he has 3 meals a day, and people clean up his dishes when he's done, and the state provides me with water, and all this type of shit. The last part of it is he says, quote, to many, this may sound like some idyllic LSD drug concept, or religious euphoria, or some schizoid passivity disorder. I assure you it is not. The psychiatrist would have notified my attorney, which is ridiculous. He says, yes. George Kayer, author of Sacred Language, Glossary of Earth, Law 1, Highlights and Commentary. He's got more books. Don't worry about this. He said, this essay is offered as a gift to all. Well, thanks, buddy. And then it's reprinted again in German below that. I shit you not.
No way.
I shit you not, in German for any of his dad's friends that might be out there. He has several books, including the Pen Pals for Prisoners, Pen Pal Catalog for Prisoners, Volume 1. Came out in 2014, 1 star on Amazon, 1 review. 500 free magazines and where to get them in print.
Oh, no.
So that's another. This is all shit for prisoners, 1 star. 1 review, 5 stars. The best 500 nonprofit organizations for prisoners and their families in 2014. Also, he has
He does lists, James.
He does lists and like inmate resource guides.
Prisoner BuzzFeed.
Inmate Shopper, the Inmate Shopper #1, which is I don't know what the
Prison
fuck that
Sky
is.
Mall.
Yeah, Prison Sky Mall, Inmate Shopper issue 2, and the DISSE, Directory of Inmate Shopping Services and E-Commerce. Now, the 2014 Inmate Shopper has 2 reviews and only 3 stars, so I'd be aware of that one. I'm not sure that one's up to snuff or not. But 2017, he wrote his opus here, called Victimly Insane. And it's an interview, a full book length interview, he calls it. He says, thank you for checking me out. This is his Amazon thing. Quote, thank you for checking me out here on Amazon. I've posted a sneak peek, chapter 1 of my next book, Victimly Insane, the Frank Jarvis Atwood interview. I'm both excited and nervous to write a book outside of my genre of resource guides for prisoners and their families, of lists. Victimly Insane is a book length interview with a wrongfully convicted man who is still on death row after 30 years. Amazingly, Frank Atwood answered all my questions. None of that politician sidestep here. I found Frank to be honest, sincere, reformed, and a sharper mind than mine at 62 years. I mean, the guy is going for his PhD from death row. Who does that? No one, because you're going to fucking die. What's the point? It doesn't matter. You may contact me or Frank at victimly_insane@yahoo.com. George. And George is number 77910, Browning. It says P.O. Box 3400-3G as in Gregory 12, Florence, Arizona 85132.
He's at Florence.
Oh, boy. Awaiting death. He says for a first contact, if you like, use jpay.com or George Kayer AZ at deathrow-usa.com. Please leave a postal address for a response. Thank you. Oh, by the way, he is also on Twitter at George Kayer on Twitter.
No.
You got to look at his fucking profile, too. He says, this is his profile, quote, most published prisoner in America. Coming soon, Victimly Insane, the Frank Jarvis Atwood interview. Pre-order today. Visit victimlyinsane.com. He's in Florence. And then he has 11 tweets, 140 followers, and he only follows 40 people. So he's
killing it.
He's working Twitter. Of his tweets, here's a couple gems for you.
Oh, boy.
Oh, by the way, there's also a link to his LinkedIn page because he's on fucking LinkedIn. Don't trust anyone on LinkedIn. And he's wearing a tie on LinkedIn and on Twitter too. His profile picture looks like a guy who works for a news station.
Why do they allow him to have a tie?
He's like a 60-year-old man with a nice suit and tie on and his hair done. He doesn't, it's crazy. Here's a couple of his choice tweets. One, and these are from April of 2015. One is, these are of a series he's doing called Questions Men Ask Women That Force Men to Lie. Okay? Questions Men Ask Women That Force Men to Lie. What is the first thing you notice about a woman? That's his one. The next one is, are you 18? Come on, man. Questions and men ask women that this is questions men ask women that force women to lie.
Are you 18?
Then they have to go, yes, I am. And then you fuck teenagers. Is that how that works, you dirtbag? This is a 60-year-old murderer in prison trying to say what a good guy he is.
Turd.
What a complete piece of shit. And since execution, by the way, he's not being executed, but he might fucking die anyway, because there's this article talking about how since executions were put on hold in 2014, this is 4 years ago, 5 5 Arizona death row inmates have died of, quote, natural causes.
They have.
All of them are hepatitis C.
Oh, is that right?
They're all related to hepatitis C. They all have hepatitis C.
You think that's from the syringes in prison?
Well, yeah, they say that the medical director at Arizona Prison Complex that said that until last year, that housed the majority, said that recently testified that up to 80% of inmates in that complex were infected with Hep C. 80% of this one. The Arizona Department of Corrections, they say it's a little better than that, obviously, because they're full of shit. But they say that, it can be obviously, they say it can be effectively treated nowadays with very expensive antiviral medication that they're not giving those fucking guys. It's obviously sharing needles and razors and things like that. Rape, those things, but less actually spread, less sexually than through blood. It's more of a, needle way more likely.
That is a terrible disease, by the way.
It's a fucking horrible disease.
You shit your insides
It's a horrible disease. Well, yeah, it leads to cirrhosis and liver cancer and all this type of shit. So a lot of these people from there have got it, it's pretty fucking amazing. They say that the Department of Corrections says that 6,243 of the 41,681 prisoners in the entire Arizona Department of Corrections population have hepatitis C, which is 15%, which is crazy. That's a crazy amount of people.
So much.
That's a crazy fucking amount of people. It's insane. So he's in there. Maybe he will do that. Let's see what he says about himself here. This is his whole thing. Quote, I was first published at age 14. This is George. Grew up in an entrepreneurial family. Co-started and managed a multi-million-dollar niche company in the 80s. What, in between your burglary arrest and your other fucking arrest? Horseshit. And also he says, I'm the founding editor of Shop DISSE, America's largest shop for inmates. And, he says, quote, when you read my articles about marketing to inmates, you'll know you're receiving firsthand business wisdom from an experienced insider. That is the vicinity of Williamson, Arizona, and that is a complete lunatic asshole named George Kyer.
Holy shit.
And his crazy ass fucking cabal of
story.
Lunacy. Yeah, these people, this is a fucking wacky story, man.
I thought I knew all the names of death row inmates, and I did not know that man's name.
No, he's on there. Well, you didn't know that town even fucking existed, and neither did I, for that matter. Yeah. Christ almighty. I never heard of that town. I was like, Williams? No, Williamson. And when you search for Williamson, it just comes up Williams.
Interesting.
It's fucking ridiculous. So that's that. If you like that, I know what you can do.
Yeah.
Number one, come to the damn Phoenix show this weekend.
See you there.
See you there November 3rd. Also, you can go give us a positive 5-star review there on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. The damn purple icon. Make that funky algorithm dance. Help us out. It doesn't matter what you say. It's just for business. You can go over to shutupandgivememurder.com where you can follow the link over to patreon.com/crimeinsports. And that is how you can make a donation that make this whole thing go around and makes us very happy people. Or you can go to PayPal there also and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Right.
And you can do that. And if you want to get a hold of the show, use that particular email address, or you can check out at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small on Twitter, and at Small Town Pod on Facebook. Right. Do all of those things. Go to get the live show tickets, please. Get your merch. Do all that stuff. And Jimmy, I would like you to do me a favor, though. I would like you to hit me with the list of people who have done all of that stuff this week and our producers who have given us everything that we have. Jimmy, hit me with it.
This week's executive producers are Sam Stevens, Alex Eicht, Etched, E-C-H-T. That's a tough one.
Echt?
Act? I think you nailed it.
It's probably not. I doubt it.
Kelly Mack, Ariana Folsom, Denise Herdman, and Michael Navarcal. I think that's right.
There you go.
I
Thank
think that's
you.
right. No, it's not.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Michael.
Well, thank you, Michael. We appreciate it either way.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for everything you guys do for us. Troy Graham, Lynn Cornell, Becky Estes, Nicole Rivas, Jen Hardman, James Thiesby, Rhonda S. Green, Caitlin Dugas, that's Dugas, Alexandra Lamb, Laura, God damn it. I was going to, Laura Del Hay Deladonna. Yes.
Hey.
Delay Deladonna.
Okay.
I think that's right. Or Deladoni. Blake Braun, Joe Williams,
problems this week.
Shalana Soretti, Jake Lascanis, Hunter Perry, Elizabeth Oliver, Terry Bigham, Stephanie Agoa, Thorsten Gross, Kevin Holmes, Jesse Hartman. No, that's Jen Hardman and Jesse Hartman.
Oh, okay.
Really fucked me up. John McGuire, Frank Tripati, Jessica Willis, Jeffrey McAvoy, Heather Goss, Reagan Schalke, Lisa Benaderet. Sorry, Lisa. Lauren Burkert, Gary Howard. He's been extremely involved lately.
Thank you so
Gary.
much.
Carrie Spreeman, Matt Richards, Matt Dietrich, Kristen Mitchell, Justin Miller, Rosanna Wagner, Jeff Huber, Lyft Driving. I think that's a dude in San Francisco.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan Rogers.
Dan Rogers, that's
the
it.
Dude
yeah.
in San. We know Dan.
I know, but my fucking head just shit it out.
Yeah.
He says the after party is at Tupelo in San Francisco. I don't know if that's true.
At what?
At Tupelo, whatever that is. I imagine it's a bar.
My after party will be in my fucking...
I was thinking the same thing.
A hotel room or the streets of Fisherman's Wharf while I smoke fed joints.
I'm going to hit a cold shower and go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah.
Kyle Tamblin, Iron Tree Craftworks, which are homemade wooden crafts that are like bowls and shit. And
awesome.
I believe the person that owns that is also a police officer. So thank you very much. Samantha Bird, Karen Lambiasi, Lauren Demarath, Christine Reed, Corey Brox, John Whitmore, Kara James, Jeremy Stirk, Bryant Toole, Lee with no last name, Jason Fuller coming through again. We'll see you in Detroit, brother. Matt Waters, Ricky Bryant, Cindy Oakes, Under the Sea Fabrics. Go get your fucking fabrics there. Yeah. Michelle. It's Michelle Terry. God damn it. I called her Mitchell. Last time I called her Michael.
Sorry, you caught Michelle. It, babe. You got that.
Emily Richardson, Jimmy Davis, Evelyn Van Vosselen, Sea Pickers Inc. I'm not sure. I tried to Google that shit, and I don't. Sea Pickers? I mean,
we both we looked at each other and were like, that can go a lot of bad ways.
Really, a sea picker?
That could be a lot.
Rachel Stora, Jenny Liticoti, Tanya Hayden, Stephen Rude, Pickle Bean, Nicole Mendez Ferrandez, Janet Chavez, Bill Szynski, Kelly Higby, Lauren Clayton. No, Caton. It's Lauren Caton for sure. Holly and Jalen Phoenix, Heather Fowler, Nicola Elliott. She got sick. She was in the hospital.
Oh.
Get better fast, Nicola. Yeah. Dina Horowitz and all the homies in Homestead in Florida. There is a prison that is allowed to listen to us.
Awesome.
And it's fucking incredible. You guys didn't do it. Thank you so much.
You're all innocent, and we'll be happy to see you exonerated. And here's a word of advice: if you're ever at a hearing for any of this stuff, don't say what that guy said about the UFOs and the Bible. Yeah. Leave the Bible and UFO shit aside if you're going to beg for your life.
You guys
for that matter.
Thank you guys so much for everything you do for us. We can't do it without you. That's real.
That's true. It really is. Honestly,
you guys are so nice to talk to your fans.
We just are appreciative.
We ain't shit without you. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys for everything you do for us. And what if these people wanted to thank you for everything you do for them, Jimmy? How could they do that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And I appreciate everything. Keep sending me dog pictures. Don't send me the shit you send to James, which is where? Where can they send
They can send those at Jimmy P is funny, or you can copy and paste my last name from the show description and figure it out like that and find me. Don't be a hero and try and spell it. It's just going to get ugly and you're gonna break a finger or something. You're going to type it out wrong and sprain some shit. It doesn't matter. But we've had a wild time this week.
What the shit?
Buy those damn Phoenix Live show tickets. Do that. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.